Live, Painkiller Already, episode 245 with our guest, Jay.
Hey, 245 episodes. Holy crap.
Right?
This episode of PKA is being brought to you by Next Issue, where they've got any magazine you could ever want right in your pocket.
Awesome. Yes, I will talk more about them later, but they offer a totally legit, awesome service, which is pretty cool. I wanted to do that shooting as the first topic of the show.
You wanted to do it. You were angry that he took the opportunity.
Yeah, it was gonna be me, stupid blonde.
Okay.
Watching it
So you
differently.
You want to lay the facts out there?
So here's what we know. The guy worked there for some years. My wife said that they never worked together, him and the female reporter. Does anyone know what the scoop is on that, if she's right or wrong?
They did work together. I don't think they worked literally together, but they worked at the same news place, the same station.
According to her, they didn't overlap at time, but maybe she's wrong.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh. That's what I read online.
I was under the impression they worked concurrently, but like didn't talk or know each other really.
How was this thing filmed from two angles?
Well, he filmed one angle himself as it went down, and then obviously the cameraman's angle because it was on a live report.
Was it the cameraman's angle? Is that the other one?
The cameraman's angle.
That's the live news feed.
Right, because he's kind of panning over from the lake, over to the interviewer, kind of a dynamic shot. And then he was like cell phone holding one hand and kind of doing like an FPS, type of angle.
Someone told me it was a GoPro. And I'm so sensitive about this topic. I'm not even sure somebody wrote me on Reddit. I think it came today. Like they sent me a private message and said, Woody, don't show that first person shooter angle. They're like, I think this will be one of those things you come to regret. And I've got like 3 things since PKA started that I really wish I could take back. I really wish I rephrased that women rape thing.
Fucking Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is 2, and I can't think of any others, but I'm sure there's at least one more good one that I wish I could redo. And he actually brought up the Robin Williams thing. He's like, I think this is going to be like the Robin Williams thing. If you show that first-person shooter footage, this will be one you wish you could have taken back. And I don't know if he's right. I thought I'd ask you guys for your opinion.
I'll just chime right in here. I don't mind stepping in.
That's why you're good.
Well, morbid curiosity, especially as a Second Amendment rights advocate myself. I live in California, which is already hard to own guns as it is. I didn't know there was a first-person shooter angle. I knew that there was the camera, obviously the newscast angle. And I saw that footage uncensored, which was you can kind of catch a glimpse of him as the camera falls. It like turns around and points back and points up, literally almost like a very Michael Bay angle. Like it points right up at him. You even see the pop, from the muzzle as he's shooting. And I'm thinking to myself, is this real? Like,
this is the GoPro angle you're talking about?
No, this is the actual official news angle.
Okay.
The cameraman drops the camera, and it just points right back at the shooter for just a split second, maybe like 3 or 4 frames. And I was thinking, man, this is insane. Obviously, it was real because it was all over national news, international news. But then I found out later in the day that there was a first-person shooter angle, which I thought maybe it was like clickbait thumbnail or something. And I clicked it, and it was the craziest thing because it looks so fake, but yet the angles and everything matched up perfectly with the actual newscast. I mean, he walks right up to them. He's as close as I would be to anyone in this room, and at one point points the gun at them, but then puts it away like he has a second thought. And I thought at that moment, right there,
but
I thought it was doing
weird.
Right?
Was he racking the slide?
He was kind of getting his video angle ready, right?
Racking the slide?
No, here's what it was. So the reporter they're doing a story about tourism in that area, and she points out, she's like, oh, and this thing over here, tourists like that. And so the news camera goes off. He wants her to get shot on camera, on live TV. He approached when he knew they were live broadcasting.
That's right.
He used to work in the industry.
The cameraman pointed back over the lake, so the camera wasn't facing at the interviewer.
Yeah, so he puts it away and waits until the camera's on the woman, then he shoots her.
But here's the thing I thought was really weird about this, and this is why in the technology age that we are now, in Photoshop and video editing being so good, this is why I watched it, unfortunately, like 10 times, because I was looking for maybe telltale signs that this was fake in some way. And what I thought was crazy was he was so close to them. The first time he pointed it, I was shocked that neither the interviewer or the interviewee saw it. Because if you look, they're both at like a 45 angle to him, where the peripheral, at least I use my peripheral a lot. I don't know if you guys do, but I might have noticed something pointing at me like that.
You get tunnel vision on camera.
Man, I guess you're right. But
That's true too.
it's such an unfortunate thing, and I hate that I even saw it, but it was one of those things where it was so shocking. I kind of had to see it just to believe it.
The guy was
What was especially like creepy about it is when you see in movies or even like with higher caliber rounds, I guess, and like war footage, when someone gets shot, they drop. They're
or they fly back.
Like, or they fly back or something like that. When with this shot, like the first couple times I watched the shooter's footage, I was wondering, like, did that guy miss from that close? Like she just looked like she was more diving and ducking and dodging.
She kind of danced away.
Yeah, and then she sprinted, and I was like, oh, maybe she escaped. But of course, she didn't. Like, it's crazy that shock kicks in that fast. That she probably just felt something. Yeah, and her adrenaline was surging. It's
a hell of a thing.
Also, I feel like there's been very little, like, certainly not 50-50. 2 people died and 1 was wounded, right?
Right.
That cameraman, like, he doesn't seem to be getting any sympathy or press, or not, at least not his share, right? It's all like, can you believe they shot that pretty blonde girl? Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
I think partly that's because a lot of people, millions of people, watched her get shot live. Maybe not millions, but lots of people watched her get shot live, and many people, that's the viewpoint you see. You see her get shot in all the video, and you really don't see him getting shot. So I think it gets past some people. And there's some sexism there. Everybody feels sorry for the pretty blonde girl before you'd feel sorry for the faceless cameraman. Let's face it. Like,
that was
I don't even know what he looks like.
Take on it. Like, I feel like there's this, women and children first, right? Guys are just expected to die, to go down with the ship, and only survive if there's enough extra room for them.
It's every man, woman, and child for themselves. I'm George Costanza. I'm fucking I'm getting out of there. I don't care. I hear gunshots. And I don't have a gun. I'm jumping over that balcony, whatever it takes.
There's this notion that guys are supposed to sacrifice in situations like this, and I feel
chivalry is dead.
It's not like he really had a chance to do anything anyway. I mean, he's got probably a 10-pound camera on his shoulder at least, and if not heavier. And he's so focused on work, and I mean, it sounded like, at least from the first-person angle, I mean, he kind of did like a 1, 2, 3, like just kind of nailed all 3 of them, and then just started rapid firing as the.
There's no way to defend yourself against that. He's got a Glock pistol. I couldn't tell if it was a 19 or a 17, but he's got 15 or 17 rounds of ammunition, and he can shoot all day, and he had extra magazines. I know they found him. So he was in his car. He had disguises in the car, like wigs, sunglasses. He had extra license plates to switch out on his car, and extra magazines full of ammo. And I guess whenever the police tried to stop his vehicle, he drove off the road, shot himself, I guess in the head. I don't really know. But then
a manifesto that was talking about how, like, he really liked the that shooter from, was it West Virginia or Virginia Tech or something?
No, he was very unhappy about what happened in South Carolina, that Charleston shooting. That in part motivated him. He talked about a race.
So he was talking about some of his favorite mass murderers, and he was really, I forget the guy's name because it's not an American name. It was like Kim Sung-Hoo or something, and I thought that was the
that's Virginia Tech guy.
Virginia Tech,
yeah, and he was talking about how many kills that guy got.
That was back in like 07.
And he's like, take that, Columbine shooters who got by far fewer kills comparatively. And so he was like, he called that guy my boy or something, in Virginia Tech. And I'm like, all right, so this guy intended to get a lot more kills than he did. I guess the police caught him too quickly.
If I had to guess, I bet he was heading to get more of the. He was angry with the station he'd worked at. It seemed like he felt like he was being discriminated against for being both black and gay, and
he was
angry.
Gay?
Yeah, he was angry about that. I bet he was heading to the fucking news station. He was probably heading there so he could get in the newsroom and like shoot the fucking anchor.
I feel like we haven't emphasized the racist aspect of this yet.
Oh, totally, 100% racist. This guy was going to get some retribution. He wanted to get those white devils. That's totally what he's talking about, a race war in his manifesto.
Did anybody else hear the rumors that this manifesto though may not, or at least they were in the beginning? Now I haven't looked up or read the manifesto. I only saw some headlines that went by that there was concern that it may have been forged.
Taylor, have you read my manifesto?
Your manifesto? Personally yours?
You don't subscribe subscribe to my newsletter?
I don't. No. Send me a free copy.
Who has a fucking manifesto? That's what they should do. Whenever you want to catch these psychos before they do some evil, like, forget registering guns. You need to find the people who are writing manifestos.
Google manifestos.
Anyone with a manifesto. Yeah, Google manifesto. My manifesto. Anytime you see that hit, go pick that guy up.
Yeah, they put like a trick line when you're applying for a gun. It's like name, address, title of manifesto. Everyone who has none, they allow. But if it's like, all right, Steve Johnson, 222 Heather Brook Lane, manifesto, Jews, the ultimate problem. Oh, almost snuck through, you little bitch. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have. Nobody ever writes happy manifestos. Like page 1. But went to the homeless shelter. I think everyone should be helped.
For people who don't know this, like, here's the important part. Like, so whatever it was, July 17th or something, that guy did that shooting it was a black church in Charleston, South Carolina, right? And that was racially motivated. That guy was a douchebag too. So this guy got inspired. He's like, oh, you want a war? Let's go to war. Bring it. And I think I had the date right, like July 17th. 2 days later, the 19th, he got his gun. And then here it is a little month after that, a month plus, and he's finished his shooting too. This was totally a kill white people thing.
Totally.
I don't see Al Sharpton.
Also, he was specifically angry with the people at that news station. I feel like, and lots of his. I heard Rush Limbaugh talking about him today, and I'm not going to go into his craziness because
go into it.
To hear it.
Okay, so Rush Limbaugh blamed this shooting on, get this, affirmative action.
A Russian Limbaugh would never say anything like that, though, right?
He might.
It was it was absurd. He literally blamed this guy. He was like, because of affirmative action, this homosexual black man was put into a job that he couldn't perform at. So he was surrounded by people who could perform at it. He became a pariah. He thought that people didn't like him because he was a black homosexual, when in fact they didn't like him because he was an underperformer and he was dragging everybody down. That's why he kept getting fired from job after job, and so he ended up blaming affirmative action. He said it's cruel to do to this man, to put him in this job he can't do.
So he used affirmative action to victimize him.
He blamed he found a liberal thing
Buzzword.
To blame for the shooting.
Right. Yeah,
I almost feel like he was pointing out
he got his job because of affirmative action. And this is Rush Limbaugh's point.
Right.
Therefore, he was a chronic underperformer. They thought they hated him for being black and gay, but really they hated him because he sucked at his job. Yeah. And if it wasn't for affirmative action, she'd be alive today. That's Rush's point.
So it's almost like affirmative action gave him a jaded view of what was real and expectations for his life. But he just was never good enough at his job.
Fun fact, I am so impressed by Rush Limbaugh's ability to spout craziness. And have millions of people be like, that crazy fuck's got a good point. I bought his mic.
Because that shit happened like yesterday. And he had that ready this morning.
His voice and delivery is so powerful that I got the same mic as this mic, the RE20. That's what Rush Limbaugh has. I was like, I want to say shit that people go like, oh, Woody's got a strong point.
Well, you know how a lot of people have like their box of greeting cards that they'll just like, oh yeah, it's someone's birthday, I'll pull out a greeting card from under the bed. Well, he kind of has his box of responses. Okay, black man shoots anchor. Okay, and then he pulls that out of his little box, and there you go. That's how it's ready to go so fast.
I don't feel like he made these up on the spot. I feel like every morning, like, have you ever been in the shower and you imagine someone does something rude to you in line, and then you go through like the whole transaction of like, no, fuck you, yeah. No, you take these. Like, he goes in there every morning and he's like, oh, what's today's scenario? He writes it out in the steam on the window. Black man shoots black gay man. Oh, even better. Like, he's
he loved
masturbating in there. He's so thinking about his response.
It's like when you think about that perfect comeback after the fight is over.
Mm-hmm. He was so quick to point out from the news report. He described his apartment. He said that this guy's apartment was full of cat feces, gay pornography, and littered with unwashed sex toys. And at first I was like,
is that
God
bad?
Damn it, Rush.
Because maybe that's why the Apex house isn't selling.
And I was like, that's pretty. I feel like he's being very judgmental. Like, I mean, first of all, guy's been dead for a day or two. He hasn't had a chance to clean that litter box. All right, let's give him a break on that. Second of all, gay pornography. I'm not going to judge the man's pornography. I don't know why he owns pornography. We were discussing this earlier.
Yeah.
I borrow pornography and then I return it to the internet from whence it came.
Pornography is meant to be streamed.
The dirty,
if you
the
own
unwashed
physical
sex toys.
pornography, there's something wrong with you in 2015. Like you're a bit of a deviant. I don't care if it's the most tame Playboy thing, but if you see that at someone's home, you just have to think like, this is available. Like there's better stuff.
You don't think 1 or 2 videos for internet outages, emergencies?
No. The reason people have those is so they can like cut the eyes out of women and make weird little dolls and marionette things to live out their fantasies.
This is just a file
DVDs.
or two, stored
Files,
under temp.
I of course, I have
like Windows
like
8, boring stuff.
You
Don't
gotta
look
go
here.
through, it's like Alice in Wonderland going down the rabbit's hole to get to my porn. You got to go to like taxes 2012. You open that up, and the taxes are there. But you open one of the files, and it's like old cell phone images, and it really is old cell phone images. It's vacation shit. And then you open another file. You just keep going down the rabbit path before you get to like what do I have in there? Let's see.
Just in
I know
case
what's the
just
porn
in case
star
the
that's
net's
like
out.
40 years old?
She's Jenna Jameson?
No. The super like milfy one that looks like Sarah Palin. The one from Nail and Palin.
Oh, I
Malin.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, she looks like Sarah Palin, so they made a porno called Nail and Palin, and she played Sarah Palin. She's super hot.
I just
think
want to
she's
know
retired.
if Siri knows this.
She
Who's
says
the
that
actress
in the
in
thing.
Nail
the
and
porno,
Palin?
She fucks 2 Ruskies, like 2 Russian guys come on, like, oh, time to put the cock in the pussy, and then like 2 Russian guys with Ushankas, like double teamer. It's great.
They should have started it with the Russians looking out their window with binoculars, seeing her undressing from Russia, hopping a boat.
I've never seen like it from the beginning. I usually skip to like 3 minutes in when things start. So
as is tradition. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
see the
Lisa Ann was the actress's name.
Lisa Ann. She is retired now, from what I understand, or maybe she only like does masturbation videos. But Lisa Ann, top tier porn star.
Well, I'll have to Google her. I don't know any of their names.
No, Taylor, that's a rookie mistake. You Bing for porn.
Yeah.
We learned that
Wings
from
redemption
the
method.
Great Wings. Yeah, apparently Bing has really optimized their porn search. Like it's a
thought you were
business strategy. Bing and porn are beautiful together, and that's how you would do it.
I've never binged anything.
Now go Bing and then images or video, whichever you prefer, and then just search whatever you want to see, and it'll link to every site that has anything like that. And you've got like thumbnails, so you can be like, I don't know, like lady getting trampled by amputee. Okay, that might be hard to find, but if you do it on Bing, you'll get like 8 videos of it from various websites, and you'll get it done.
Even better, Alta Vista. A lot of great porn on Alta Vista.
Really.
See, now you're joking, but this is pro tip right here. Bing is porn optimized. I think there's a room of people making sure that Bing is they think that porn is the way to overtake Google.
I was gonna say, does Google has standards?
They do. Yeah, Google has like even if you turn safe search off, Google's tame.
Yeah, you can't get that hardcore amputee porn on Google. You got to go to Bing. So do we have anything else to add to this terrible shooting? I felt really sick when I watched it too. It was really terrible to watch that happen. I didn't know what I was watching when I first started watching it, because it's just the lady doing the live broadcast.
I didn't realize it was him. That's the thing. I thought maybe there was someone else, like, oh hey, look, they're doing a news report, and was doing a video of it, and he was going to come
I saw
from
that
the
in
side.
a second.
Yeah, well, because he walked kind of down the walkway and then sort of turned around and come back the other way. So I thought it was just someone's perspective of the shooting. I thought we were going to see the shooter walk into frame, not that it was freaking him.
Yeah, that was terrible. It's really awful. I don't remember. Did he get the gun legally or illegally?
Legally.
They said it on the radio, but with Russia's voice, you can't always tell. Legally, from illegally.
It was legal.
Remember how many painkillers they caught him with? It was thousands of tablets.
Dude, he was going to the Dominican Republic. If people don't know, Dominican Republic apparently is like one of the sexcation capitals of the world. Dude. So he was headed down there with a suitcase full of Viagra and like Oxycotton.
You have no idea how much oxy this guy was doing, though. Like Stern called him out and went through the whole report and put all his dirty laundry out there in an hour long of his show one time, and it was thousands of these pills, and he was pressuring this woman to refill this prescription of her husband and like cursing her and threatening her, and like it was a whole thing. He was taking thousands of Oxycontin a month or something like that, like dozens a day. It seemed like to make the numbers work. With in the end, it seemed like it was tens of thousands of total pills and like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Did you know?
Well, when you build up that tolerance,
yeah,
Oxycontin can cause hearing loss.
What?
And he has hearing loss. Get this. Did you know that?
Yeah.
That's why he's yelling.
Stern pointed that out. They're like, they pointed out whatever bullshit he blamed for his hearing loss, but they were like, but Stern's like, get this. Side effects of Oxycontin abuse, hearing loss. And then it was just too perfect.
Does excessive masturbation and all that, Viagra with that Oxycontin. You know what he was doing on the weekend.
Now he's going to be blind with the masturbation. Oxycontin for the hearing.
That's a wives' tale. We'd all be blind.
Oxycontin.
We'd all be blind.
That's so much worse than even like Vicodin. House was in a pretty bad spot for a couple seasons. But Oxycontin, that's not like you get too drunk once in a while. That's like you're constantly fucked up. If you're not a millionaire, you can't maintain thousands of Oxycontin a month.
One of my contractors, employees, kids or something came around and said that I forget if it was heroin or meth, but Oxycontin is the gateway to it. Oftentimes, like you're on Oxycontin, it would be heroin, mm-hmm. and that it's so expensive to keep up that you go to heroin. It's a much cheaper way to deal with your Oxycontin issue.
Coming from the same place. Basically.
Are they?
Yeah.
No, that's...
Yeah, both opioids.
So, Kyle, you all ready for your survival trip?
Dude, I am really... All right, so...
We're going to die. We're totally going to die.
I was setting up to film. I was out in the field working all day the last 2 or 3 days. I'm setting up for filming tomorrow, and I had to move like 15 toilets by myself and like stack them up. And anyway, I strained my back really fucking bad. When you were talking about Rush being on all those painkillers, I was thinking like I'm on a lot of muscle relaxers right now just to keep me sitting in this position. So if I get a little loopy as the show goes on, I'll blame that for sure. But we're mostly ready. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't want anybody to freak out, but we don't exactly have a spot to go yet, okay? Now, don't worry about that because we've got... Well, I'm filming tomorrow, obviously, so I won't be doing anything then. But then there's Saturday, and I've got Saturday. And on Saturday, I'm going to find us a spot to do our survival trip, which is happening on Monday. But don't worry, because everything's already in motion, and there's no way to back out now.
No, it's better. It's better that you don't have somewhere to go. When you're surviving, you don't get to pick your little survival cobble. You get dropped in the middle of nowhere and you have to make do. So I say you just walk a preset amount. You set on your little pedometer like 50,000 steps. And wherever that is, you got to survive.
For Jay's benefit.
Is it weird that I'm wondering why Kyle has 15 toilets?
No.
No.
I don't even question why he has things anymore.
It's for a shoot, I'm sure. They react well to bullets.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot them.
Here's the deal. It's Kyle, me, Dr. Chiz, and then not playing by the rules, our cameraman, who's Patrick from How I Became. And he's going to have a tent or a tent cot or something like that. He's going to have camera gear and food and all that stuff. So he is not out there starving. And thankfully, we don't have to share our squirrels with him. Squirrel.
Put the cameraman on Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, look, I'm not sharing my squirrel with fucking Patrick. Like, he's going to bring some Snickers because I'm not splitting it 4 ways. Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
I tell you, you know how we're using these 22s to shoot squirrels? I'm bringing a shotgun and birdshot. Fuck it. If I chase away, oh, shut up, you. I can hardly. Fuck you. I love you though. If I chase away a squirrel too by shooting with a lever action iron sight cowboy style rifle, then I will break out the shotgun. I have got to eat.
No, go by Kyle's uber strict rules because about 9 hours in, when he starts fiending for number 5 from Taco Bell, he's gonna wish he had a shotgun there and a few pellets and a tasty squirrel. Like that's, I want to see you guys cheat a lot, but only by yourself. Chiz can't know. You guys have to. You guys bring
like,
a lot of like Snickers
laughing at
and stuff. Yeah, he's shivering. You guys have like a bottle of wild turkey over there, just like enjoying yourself. He's sitting there with like one of those nasty army rations. I would love to see him suffer.
There's energy bar wrappers all over the place, and we feign ignorance. Like, I don't
Empty
know.
boxes of Cliff Bars.
Google real quick.
I have lost 9 pounds in the last like whatever month or something like that. Maybe more. And
You're about to lose more on that trip, too.
I think so. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. It doesn't stay off on survival trip weight loss, but it has to be fat that gets burned. It must be a step in the right direction.
Well, some of it's going to be muscle, too.
Yeah.
You're not going to be getting 100 grams of squirrel protein a day, so some of that is going to be muscle.
For sure.
Well, you can definitely shoot the squirrels with a shotgun legally. I probably should have known that, but like it just seems so unsporting that I would think it'd be one of those
Oh
things.
my
I don't
God. So prior to the last time I visited Kyle, I was such a terrible shotgun shot that it was kind of remarkable. Like,
Dude, they're not flying squirrels.
they will be after I shoot them.
Vaporized.
But like, yeah, so he would throw clay pigeons in the air, and I would miss them until I got good last time. I don't know if I'm still good now. I haven't done it since. But you know, on a bench rest or even off the shoulder, I'm a normal shot. But I don't know. I worry that I'll miss with my 22. I'll still try that first.
Oh, another thing I want you guys to do, I think would be funny, is like after every day of clips or whatever, you have to spend like 3 or 4 minutes like alone, like Blair Witch style, laying down with the camera just in front of you. And you can a confessional, and you bitch about how the other two are just really aggravating you, like fucking Chiz got 60 pounds of extra energy hanging off his body, and he's eating my squirrel. The fuck, he can't sit around for a couple days? And then
Dude,
Kyle get in there, complain, shot all the squirrels today, didn't get to eat them all.
We're going to transform Chiz. That's a whole nother topic. But Chiz is going to look like you won't recognize him a year from now. It starts on Monday. But the smoking thing is going to be gone. Smoking anything out of the window. We're going to get him doing demo and construction on a daily basis. Sleeping schedule repaired. And he's going to be a whole different guy. It's not a boot camp. It's a new life.
Is his sleeping schedule fucked up?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Yeah. You know, dude, everyone on YouTube has a fucked up schedule. Like, there's just nothing to sort of tie you into normalcy.
I go to sleep somewhere between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m.
Dude, the big deal is when you, like, they go to the blackout curtains. Once you go to blackout curtains, anything can happen.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's a mistake. That house that he's moving into, the guest house, it doesn't have blackout curtains. He is going to have a reasonable sleep schedule, and it's going to do wonders for him physically.
Blackout curtains. All right, let me take that back. If you just don't give a fuck and you don't have a real job or a girlfriend and you don't really care if you gain a little weight and you just want some awesome, awesome sleepy time because that's the best thing in life if we're being honest, sleep, black those motherfuckers out. When it's pitch black, and I mean like a cave, there's something different about that kind of sleep. It's like being back in the womb. It's zero light. You black out, and when you wake up, you don't know if it's 4 p.m. or 4 a.m., and you don't fucking care.
No,
that's when I travel.
Blackout curtains are a slippery slope to Pea Jugs and the pizza guy knowing your name. You don't need that in your life. You need just open the blinds.
Who told you about my Pea Jugs? It was one time.
Oh, I mean, everybody's used a Pea Jug once, but they don't make a habit of it.
I've never used a Pea Jug, and I don't think...
You've never used a Pea Jug?
You've never been on a long road trip where nobody else wanted to stop?
Look, I used to be a FedEx driver, and I lived by the Pea Jug, a.k.a. Gatorade bottle.
Did you ever have close calls where you panicked and you had to cut off the pea stream, or were you a pretty good, a lot of foresight?
I made sure that there was plenty of volume left over in the bottle, if you know what I mean.
I pee in my car all the time. All the time. I go
Not like
so
literally
far,
in the car, though, like right in a container in the car.
No, just right on the fucking seat. Yeah, and
Rubber
I'll get
format,
like
gotcha.
and always plan ahead, like right. So if I've got to make a long drive, I don't have time to stop or whatever. And like if I'm driving into Atlanta to pick someone up from the airport, and I know I'm going to hit traffic, and I might be sitting there for 4 hours, totally going to bring a Gatorade or a Frappuccino from Starbucks, one of those glass bottles, because my dick can fit in that bottle. And I can because if you're just trying to like press the head of your dick against like a 20-ounce soda bottle, then you're just one slip away from pissing everywhere like that. Well, and you're driving, so you can't stop.
That's why you need the Gatorade, the 32-ounce like Big Mouth bottles.
So your penis doesn't fit in the Pepsi bottle?
Absolutely not.
Woody just uses those super-sized... oh, never mind.
So you don't... What about a Coke can? Does it fit in a Coke can?
Oh, God, that would be a nightmare.
Large plastic pixie sticks?
None of that. But yeah, I do that all the time.
You guys don't use a straw?
I always thought a catheter would be the worst thing. That's what I thought of.
I've never
either.
Yeah.
Anyone?
PKA challenge.
But on the survival trip, this one's going to be better. I'm very excited about having professional video. Patrick has a whole spreadsheet of video ideas. I don't know.
He approached us with it last time around, and the issue was, he's all the way in fucking England. But this time around, we were like, let's make this happen. We got to sponsor the show. We'll get him over here, and I think it's going to be really good because he's got all these great ideas. And it's not like he's got ideas like, all right, the gang gets together and they make a human pyramid. Like, it's not bullshit. It's like segments. It's like, let's make sure we film this aspect, that aspect, this aspect, and then follow up with that to sort of tell a story. We're filming kind of a miniature documentary next week, and there's no way that it's not happening because it's someone else's job to do it, so we can't fuck it up.
See, I've even got it. Like, let's see. He has the link, like 3 to 5 minutes, how the trip is going to work. 3 to 5 more minutes, intro to the crew, an equipment video, show what people have in the bags to survive, the armory, the guns, daily vlog videos, 10 to 20 minutes, PKN in the wild, just like, an episode of PKN during the survival trip, an episode of PKA during the survival trip. I bought some new equipment so we can do the audio in that properly. Q&A, cooking with Kyle. Kyle shows off his culinary skills with the food caught. But he has like a whole bunch of ideas here and how many of those videos we're going to have and like the schedule and like it's going to be professionally shot and edited and it's going to be...
I'm very excited about the videos that are going to come out of this. It's going to be... I felt like we did a pretty good... We're only there for like a day, but we had good videos last time. But it was, me and you shooting each other with cell phones, basically. Mm-hmm. This is going to be great. This is going to be better than that. And it was good last time because it's interesting content. We're doing cool shit.
It's a mix, right? Because, like, some people like the confessional type stuff and the sort of update, and other people like the pro side. He's got it all covered. I have very high hopes about bringing in a real camera crew, and from a PKA standpoint, like I hope this serves as a example of what we can do. So the next time we want to do a PKA adventure, whatever that is, skydiving, go-kart racing, something or other, we're like, this is the kind of shit that happens when you bring us in, and it'll be easier to make these trips go. Like it should be cool, which is why we invested in a Cameraman.
Yeah, let's mention our sponsor, right? It's what are they called? Or
Battlebox, I think. Or maybe we shouldn't. Well, fuck, we just did. Yeah, so Battlebox is the business model is similar to Loot Crate in that they ship something to you every month, but the difference is it's survival and tactical gear delivered monthly. And they have a bunch of different levels and stuff. I'm sure we'll talk more about it in their videos. But yeah, so they're making this thing a reality, and I'm grateful. And I haven't got my gear yet. It's supposed to come tomorrow.
Yeah, the gear. I'm glad that they're getting us gear because it's going to be like the little odds and ends that I just don't want to go pick up because it'll get expensive if I have to collect all that bullshit again. I don't want to go get another fire starter. I remember we got into that fire starting bullshit last time, and Wings was so competitive. And look, I don't want this to be me hating on Wings. Don't think of it that way because I love the guy.
Of course not.
He is the worst at making fire. And the worst part was he was fixated on it so much. He made 3 fire making videos, and he discussed making the fire in at least 2 additional videos, and he was discussing the fire in every PKA that surrounded this time. But he never, ever made a fire.
There was one camera. Like, you'd see him striking it, and you'd see him putting sparks on something very flammable. But we don't know that. Unless you know something I don't.
Go watch the video. Look. here's how it is. He's got a big pile of hay in his backyard, and he's striking it. Even if he did set it on fire, like that doesn't count because the whole idea was like go into the woods and find stuff there and make a fire with that because that's what we're doing. He gets the pile of hay. He strikes. You see a little smoke. Then the camera cuts off, and then it cuts back on like a hard cut, like camera off. It comes back on. It comes back on, and all of the hay is fully engulfed. And he's like, "Whoa! Look at it burn! Look at it burn!" It's just like that's a fire, boys. And it's just like, all right, you can stop making fire videos now. That's good.
It might just be that he found it difficult to film, like because it took him a while to start the.
Shall I link you to my fire video?
No.
No, I don't want to watch anybody make fire.
Exactly.
This isn't the year 2. Nobody
Year
cares.
2. But I know that I've done stuff where it's like, all right, sometime in the next 40 minutes, an interesting thing will happen, and maybe he missed the magic moment. I don't know, but yeah. I
So
wonder
aside from shooting, do you guys have a plan for like traps to set up, shit like that?
So here's.
I think I'm gonna make the structure much like we did previously.
He was talking about food traps.
He was, yeah. That's the only planning I've done. I was like, I think the structure plan worked out okay. Traps. We should learn how to make a trap. I was asking Kyle, will there be a lake we can fish in? Oh, that's a thing. Not legal?
No, they wouldn't be real traps. You would set up one of those like box falling traps. You'd run over there with the camera shaking behind Kyle, lift it up, and find like a cheesy gordita crunch. and then you would eat it.
Oh,
Chiz,
that would be hilarious in a video.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Like the camera's on me, and I'm just like, come on. And I'm like aiming up into a tree at a target. Like, don't move, you'll spook him. Don't move, you'll spook him. It's a big one. And then finally and you see something tumble out of the tree, and I run, I grab it. I'm like, I got it. And the camera's come from behind me. I can't really tell what I've got. And he gets up there, and it's a Big Mac. It's like, I can't believe I got it. You can just eat it fresh, just fresh.
Yeah, but you guys need to both be there when it happens, and then have a quick little like pseudo argument, like, should we take some back to Chiz?
What we could do?
He doesn't have to know. He's had enough of these for a lifetime.
We could take the contents of the Battlebox and have them drop in via parachute, like Hunger Games, like Twinkle Twinkle Twinkle, and then
that's funny.
Then like a knife.
I was thinking, Kyle could be like tracking something down, looking for like droppings, and he like moves from leaves and finds like a Pabst Blue Ribbon or something, like cracks it open, takes a drink. He's like, still fresh. You see a rustling, and someone has tied like fishing wire to a bottle of wild turkey, and they like loop it around a tree, and so then they start pulling it, and Kyle goes off into pursuit to tackle it and take it back. But I was just thinking.
Unfortunately, we can't actually trap stuff. It's like there's like a law against it. Like there's a trapping season and trapping permit. It's a whole other thing. We can't trap. It's not every aspect of life, but when it comes to killing shit, Kyle is Captain Law abiding. It's not necessarily, if I'm being honest, like if you and I were in the woods doing this without a cameraman there, if a rabbit jumped along, blow his fucking head off and let's eat him. If a crow flies over a dove, like a partridge in a pear tree, I don't care. Like we're out here to live. But I'll eat a crow, literally.
So sick.
What you never do.
I wish I knew that.
The problem is that you're uploading it to the internet, and we're kind of notable in one way or another. That's the whole point of this thing. There's like 500,000 of you who listen to this shit every week in one way or another. So we can't upload us committing crimes and show 500,000 people.
Whatever I kill out there is a squirrel. I don't care if it's a fucking deer. It's like, look at that squirrel right there. It's 200 pounds.
In Georgia,
coming right at us.
Better off shooting. No, in Georgia, you'd be better off shooting a black man than a deer out of season. Don't
think there's no dark meat on the menu.
Oh, no cannibalism on this trip. We've talked about this. No cannibalism.
None.
No, none. No, you don't want to shoot a deer. Like they'll literally take your vehicle away from you. The Red Ranger would be lost forever. Yeah.
You can come to Missouri and shoot as many deer as you want. They're a huge problem. Like you don't even have to buy tags hardly.
There's no season or anything?
Missouri.
You come to the great state of Missouri, take as many deer as you please. Like it's like nobody cares. I saw
Texas
7
pigs.
in my backyard yesterday.
Really?
And I'm in a relatively urban area. I go metropolitan
We're
area.
going to see deer on this trip. we'll see deer on this trip. I saw a bobcat when I was back there the other day. I had never ever seen one in my life before, and I've spent hundreds of hours in the woods.
Fantastic. So now that we go without any shelter, right? We'll be sleeping on like a pile of sticks. The bobcat come back. But dude, this trip is going to be awesome. The content is going to be incredible. I don't know how many videos, but something like a dozen-ish. And, or more, maybe more, because there's daily vlogs. There might be 20 videos.
Yeah, it depends how they're cut up. You know, if you're getting 45-minute videos, then maybe there's a dozen of those. I could see something like that.
It's going to be a lot of content. And it's going to be pro, and I'm psyched for it. Just
wish we had a place to go.
That's on you. The only thing you had to do. You had one job.
Dude, I've been doing it. So, like, let me defend myself a little here. So, basically, I was in charge of finding the spot. And I don't mind. You know, I take on everybody kind of has the responsibilities around PKA. Everybody has a thing they do, and they just do it. Like, Woody does all that graphic shit. So, like, when he's struggling with it and huffing and puffing and, like, trying to make it work and get it right, I'm breathing easy because all I had to do was memorize the ad. But anyway, my job was finding the survival spot, and I narrowed it down to a big wilderness area. It's like 20,000 acres roughly, huge. So like that's not going to be a problem. And it's got these roads that crisscross inside of it, roughly 40 miles of them. Like you can drive for hours back there, it seems like. And I have driven back there for hours. I've been there 4 different occasions. I've gotten out and hiked 4 different times. All 4 times I've gotten out and hiked. And I'm just trying to find a good spot to do it there.
Now this question is
perfect.
Not that important, but do you think your truck will be ready, or will we take mine?
I don't know. As far as getting actually back there, we'll probably have to take yours. I don't know if mine's going to be ready or not.
Okay.
It's still with the mechanic.
Taco will be ready.
Yeah.
Shit always works. Because I guess I was almost hoping you said yours wouldn't be ready, even though it's going to be uncomfortable in the back, you know, with 4 people.
I'll get in the bed.
I just know that it's reliable, and I know that like the camera guy will be able to go there. There's an inverter in it. He'll charge all his gear. Like I just know that's going to be fine. So
yeah, I'll get in the bed of that thing. That'll be fun. Yeah, that'll be part of it. Once we get back on those dirt roads, you're gonna love those dirt roads. Like it's right up your alley. It's a cool place.
Taco will be fine on the dirt road.
And there aren't going to be any people. Like for a while, I was thinking about the nature of that place, and just now, I just thought about it. Like one of the things I've been weird about is like there's those gravel roads, and I've been trying to find a spot where like you could walk for a long distance without even seeing that gravel road. But nobody's ever on that gravel road. Like in the hours I've been back there, I've seen 2 other people total. And like it's just the one car that was. I just happened to like meet them as I'm going through there, and they're not like hiking. They're not doing anything back there. It seemed like they were just kind of driving through there with his kids in the car. Like, look at this, look at that. But it's a legit wilderness. It's kind of mountainy. What am I looking for here? It's rocky, little tumultuous.
I like mountainesque. Sounds like it's like the name of a pioneer stripper.
I want to find. There's creeks with water, but there aren't any fish.
I'm more scared this time.
You should be.
I felt like last time, I'm more scared and almost dreadful. Like I'm like, this is going to be
awful.
This is going to be a very uncomfortable. On PKA on Thursday night, I am going to be a wreck, and. Like I watch these survival shows.
If I could back out, I would.
I'm compared to, if I was watching this, I would compare me to the people on Naked and Afraid or Les Stroud. But those people are like good at this. We're not good at this. I have no training. Like I was at the John Deere place today picking up edger, and the guy asked me what I did for a living, and I was like, I do this YouTube thing or whatever, and I told him about the adventure trip or the survival trip. And they're like, so do you know anything about survival? And I'm like, no, that's the entertainment value. Like I've been camping, and that's it.
I went camping once.
Took an RV
once.
You guys have only been camping once.
I've been camping many times.
Okay. I went tent camping one time last year. That was the first time since I was 7 years old, and I went with my little league team.
Are you talking about the trip with me or a different trip?
A different trip. I went with my ex-girlfriend. We went camping in a tent at a campground, literally like inside of the truck. Like, that's the only camping I've done. I've hunted a lot, like, and I feel really comfortable going out there and finding us food. I can do that. I'm going to do it.
You said that last
can't
time.
wait
and the
until
only
you can't.
he snuck some herbal tea in. He's like, well, I cheated. There's tea.
Yeah. Last time, like I guess my cheating item was like these little bags of like raspberry tea, like hot tea. Like you'd like brew it, and when I was sick, I was like, let's brew this fucking tea up. Like maybe this will make me feel better.
Yeah.
So what are your cheat items? I want to know what your cheat item. I'm sure Chiz's are cigarettes to get the fire
They
started.
better not be. He's a non-smoker starting Saturday.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's gonna be bringing any cigarettes. So I don't really have any cheat items. You know, I got my tools, right?
A shotgun. My cheat item is a shotgun. My
yours
multi-tool.
is definitely, dude. That I guess you're bringing your. I was gonna offer you a shotgun because like I got mine organized the other day, and I'm looking at the wall, and it's like there's like 8 shotguns over there. I was like, have one of mine, but I guess you'd like to bring yours. You've got one.
I just
Why
like.
not?
I like to build memories around my gear and stuff.
Your
Like,
cheat items
I only
have to be funny. Kyle's, yours could be you bring in your fucking volcano from Mount Fuji face scrub or whatever because you just can't go 5 days without that. Or they catch you in the middle of the night, like embarrassingly rubbing like soot from the shoreline under your face, trying to keep yourself young.
He's exfoliating with sand.
Woody, will it so I just realized I want to switch internet connections to my house. Will that fuck the show up if I leave and then come back?
It will, but I think the
It'll be
people will
really-
understand.
Okay, I think that'll improve because I'm
You've
getting
been
some like
perfect.
I'm getting some gaps in the speech, and I feel like I'll be better if I do this. So I'll be back.
Okay. He's standing there right now, like.
Yeah. He'll be back.
But yeah, man, I'm. Last time I wasn't really afraid. I was almost cocky going into it, and I wasn't. Who knows? Like I certainly wasn't. Fortunately for me, my teammate was such a weak link that I wasn't really tested.
You looked great by comparison. Like people watching are just like, man, Woody was rearing and ready to go after that 13-hour ordeal. Kyle was throwing up, turtle blood or whatever the hell happened to him.
Yeah. So like I don't really, and when I watch these other shows, a week in, those people are still okay. Like it isn't until a week in that they really begin to suffer and start. I don't know, maybe not Les Stroud. Les Stroud's whole thing is only a week long. And
you watched Naked and Afraid, you mentioned. The first episode I watched of that, like the guy and the chick who were there with their little satchel that's like their mailman satchel cleverly in front of their genitals.
Always.
They get out there into a swamp, and somehow this chick had the bright idea of like, we'll split all the food 50-50, I'm a 5'2", 130-pound female, 140-pound female. You're a 6'2", 250-pound man. Like this guy was beefy. And then at the end of the episode, they showed like the side by side of like the progression of weight loss. It was like Sarah, starting weight 140, ending weight 127. It was like, oh, she looks pretty good. Like,
yes, they always do. Yeah.
And then the guy was like, Ted, starting weight 252, ending weight 218, and the guy's like standing there like almost shaking, his hands are blurry from it. He is just totally had an awful time because she was getting one rabbit leg for every one of his. He was looking at her so angrily the whole time. Oh, it's great.
We're splitting that shit up equally out there in the woods. I don't care what you guys weigh. It doesn't matter. There's no Chiz isn't getting more. I'm not getting more. It's right down the middle of the squirrel. Right down the middle.
Sort of looking forward to the fat loss. I'll burn some fat on this thing, no doubt about it.
I considered like working out or losing a little weight going in, and it just seemed like a bad idea. Like that seems like fuel I'm wasting. I feel like I'm gonna need a little extra fat. So I'd say I'm coming into this thing probably 8 pounds heavier than I'd like to be. I think I'm about a 183 right now. I expect to drop down to about 175. Be looking nice when I get back.
That's what you want, though. You want to go into it with a little bit of energy to burn.
Well, with that hollowed out, emaciated look.
Don't let me kid you. I'm still bringing some fuel. I got fuel. I think I'll have fuel when it's over, but hopefully less of it. That would be fine by me.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably it as far as this. Oh, as far as you mentioned cheating things, I'm bringing a bar of soap. I don't know
toothbrush and toothpaste. I don't know if that's considered cheaty, but I'm bringing it.
I didn't bring it on the last.
The bar
one.
of soap implies that we're gonna have
that I'm
going to
be bathing in a creek. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going that long without washing my face.
Well, then my cheat item will be a condom.
You guys should bring toothbrushes.
I guess I should
and
thank you for the
toothpaste.
consideration.
It's for Chiz.
You're like, fuck that. I'm just looking out for me. Yeah, I suppose I'll bring a toothbrush, right? Like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know if that's that. I don't know. It seems silly. It doesn't matter.
It's gross.
I'm definitely bringing a toothbrush and toothpaste.
All right, and the baby wipes and stuff like that. I feel like that's pretty cheaty. The main thing in this is building our shelter. Keeping ourselves hydrated.
We're not bringing food or shelter. That's the core of it.
Or water.
Or water. Yeah, we'll have to find water. That should.
Not bringing any water.
We're bringing a bottle of water.
I think I might bring like a liter of water, and then
liter.
we'll find the rest.
Well, after the first day, you're out.
I think that's how big an Nalgene bottle is. 32 ounces or whatever.
So a liter of water. Are you bringing any food like at all, like a cheat item of a Snickers or something?
Patrick will have some food. We haven't figured out what that'll be yet. I'll ask him when I pick him up Sunday night. And we'll probably stop at a Walmart on the way back and figure out if he wants like rice-a-roni that he can make freeze dried food, or does he want canned food he can heat up at the fire? I really don't want to be sitting there watching him heat up his can of beans and sitting over there hungry. That's kind of bullshit.
Make him bring traditional British food, then you won't want it anyway.
I like British food. We should make him do MREs, but that seems cruel. And I just thought of this. Patrick's going to be part of the show too. I think it's going to be funny to give me that fucking camera, Patrick. Look at this motherfucker. Look at him over here. Look at it. He stepped in shit.
That asshole shaved. He shaved today, that motherfucker. He's not surviving at all. He's thriving.
Yeah. I think this thing's going to be great. I'm glad that we were able to get a sponsor so we can get our cameraman from the other side of the fucking planet over here and get him to film this thing. Patrick's going to work out nicely, I think. And
Dude, I'm
it's gonna
nervous,
be a real success.
though. I'm scared right now. Right now, I'm like what the... It's like... I feel like I'm there's a school bully waiting for me at 3 p.m.
I would back out if I could.
I don't have a fucking plan. I don't have.
Excited.
I don't have any skills. I don't What the fuck am I gonna? How am I gonna handle this?
If you could back out right now, and nobody would think less of you, would you?
Yes, I don't want to do this. I'm so
that
fucked.
evil admission of defeat.
Yeah, I guess.
Dude, it's like we're gonna go out there. I'll give it my all. That's for sure. I gave it my I'm pretty. I don't know. I don't quit very easily.
We both are. Yeah. I want to go out there and look. I felt terrible last time about what happened. I didn't want to bitch out like that. I just couldn't go on. I really was sick, and so I really want to tough through this. I'm not gonna quit. If I was thinking if I get cut, fuck that shit. We're gonna keep going. I'm not coming out of there until the time is up. If we don't get any food, we just don't get any food. You can go weeks without eating and not die. We'll boil acorns and eat them, whatever the fuck. But we're going to kill stuff. Totally going to kill stuff.
My biggest so last time we went in there thinking that we were going to survive off squirrel and that there'd be plenty of them and everything would be fine. Not only could we not find any squirrel, zero squirrel, never
it was
any
pine
hint
trees,
of squirrel.
That's why. They don't live in pines.
That makes sense. Yeah,
it makes sense though.
But they weren't all pine trees, I don't think. But
they were. It
dude,
was a pine forest.
Couldn't even find an insect. I couldn't bait my line. I'm digging with my... I had no digging. I did have a shovel. Why didn't I use that? But there's a cheat item. I'm bringing a shovel for my poo hole.
I always bring a shovel.
Yeah.
Got my shovel right here.
But you got a shovel nearby, huh? But yeah, my big item, the big thing is no food, no shelter, no water. And we're going to go out there and make those things happen.
I used to do survival camping years and years ago, so I...
Really?
I spent a lot of time in the Boy Scouts, but then I went to survival camp, and ever since then I just got addicted to that sort of thing. I haven't been in years, but everything you guys are saying, it's kind of funny because it's I remember the first time I went survival camping, I was terrified, and I think I lost. It was actually a 2-week survival camp and a 70-mile round trip hike because we actually had to hike to a spot and back, so it was 35 miles each way, and you had to live off whatever was on the land there and back. And it was a group of 5 people, and there was different teams and stuff, and you set off on different parts of the day. It was a lot of fun, though. It was a lot of fun.
My shovel's much different. It's like a garden trowel, like this big. It's for hikers, and they wouldn't want something that heavy. But we're not going hiking that. We're not doing 70 miles.
Yeah.
I like mine. It worked real nice last time. It's still dirty from last time. That's the dirt from Uari.
There it is.
Is that sentimental dirt?
Not at all.
It's the worst dirt ever. It's got little vomit on it.
Yeah, that was god awful.
Was that from the trip that got cut short?
Yeah.
Yeah. Long story short, like I just got sick. It was like food poisoning, but I'm not really sure what caused it. I swam in a river at one point and may have swallowed that water, but it seemed really fast acting. It seemed like right after I was in that water, I started throwing up, and I really didn't stop until the next day.
Yeah,
right.
it could have been the water, or he could have showed up sick.
Yeah,
we're not exactly. Now this time he's showing up practically injured, right?
I really did strain my back. I think that'll be good. I got to film all day tomorrow, so we'll see. Yeah, it should be good. I'll it's not a serious injury anyway. I'll just go through something like that. I'm not gonna pull a Wings Redemption on you or anything like that. Like, what if I did that? Like Sunday night, I was like, you call me, hey, everything good to go? I'm not going, buddy. What?
You got to find a location.
I will. It's honestly, I feel like we could go out there like right now, and like I have an idea of where we need to go. Like I know exactly where it is. Like there's a spot where the creek goes under the road, and there's parking where we could park, and then I figure just walk straight back in there, and it's sort of an area where there isn't any road around it. I almost know exactly where we need to go. I just have to go out there and look at it.
How deep is the creek? Like inches, isn't it?
Well, where it goes under the road, there's of course like a pipe that allows it to do so, and so it spills into a pool that's right beside the road, and that pool may be like a couple feet deep, but the stream itself looks like it's usually like this, and it's a creek or a stream.
So
like it's certainly not a river with fish.
I'm not an expert, but yeah, that's where I was headed. So I don't see much good fishing in there, but there's some
Frogs.
good bathing. It sounds like right under the thing.
I want you to make a vengeance turtle soup and like eat it.
Yeah, if we see a turtle, I will totally eat a turtle. We're gonna cut its feet off, roast them up real good.
I feel like I don't know what's okay to eat and what's not. Like apparently everything in the rodent family, which we're describing as our primary like source of protein, is not good. Like squirrels can often be rabid and bad.
No, you just cook that out of them.
You can cook the rabies out of a squirrel.
Yeah, you cook anything out of anything. Like think about it.
You should Bing that before you try it.
I'm gonna do exactly that. Let's go to
my
Bing.
My dad's old friend was like, "Better watch out. Some of them squirrels have woof," and I'm like, "Woof." He was like, "Woof." I was like, "Oh, woof." And I was like, "What's that?" He's like, "It's parasite. His belly will swell up and be all black." And I'm like, well, I think I'll see that, won't I? Like I won't eat the one with the big black swollen belly then.
Don't listen to Kyle, though. He wants you to fucking eat crow. You can't eat crow. That's why it's a saying. You're going to get violently ill.
You could totally eat crow. You want to make a bet? I bet you can eat crow meat. I bet it's dark meat, too.
You can eat crow meat, but why the hell would
not
you?
Make you sick.
It'll make you sick.
It would not.
All right, nobody else eat the crow except for Kyle, and I want to watch Kyle literally and figuratively eat crow about this.
When I told my dad about this today, we were discussing this and like how we could get food in the wild and all this stuff. He's like, the only way I know how to consistently get animals in the woods is to call a crow. He's like, you can take a crow caller and blow that thing, crows will fly over, and you shoot them. And I'm like, I'm not eating fucking crow though. Yeah, I'm like, there's a saying, eating crow, like it's because it's not good to eat. He's like, and my dad's old friend was like, I think it's dark meat. And I was just like, nah, I don't want to do that. But they literally suggested like taking a crow caller, which is like a duck call. You blow on the thing and it sounds like a crow, and calling up crows and shooting them. But I'm confident that I will shoot a squirrel or two at least. As I've seen plenty of squirrel when I drove back there, like just on the side of the road, hopping around nimbly bimbly and shit. I've seen that. I saw that bobcat. I'm sure there are rabbits and like probably chipmunks and other rodents, and there'll be birds.
Are bobcat in season right now?
No, we won't shoot the bobcat.
No, if a bobcat comes at you, you can shoot it.
It's coming right at us.
It was him or me.
It's coming right at us. Yeah.
That would be great. If we see any pigs out there, there is no season on pigs. You can just annihilate those fuckers. So
that's another one that I'm told is very dangerous to eat. Like they're often just like ugly meat with worms in them and stuff.
I don't believe all that bullshit. Like, I don't think so. First of all, I think you can cook like parasites and stuff like that out of meat. Like I mean, that's the whole point of cooking stuff. You get rid of all that bad stuff that might be in it. I don't think it matters if the cow has AIDS, mad cow disease, whatever. As long as you cook it thoroughly, I think you can eat it.
So, following Taylor's suggestion, I binged. Can you get rabies from the meat? No, can you get rabies from eating the meat of a rabid animal? For instance, if you kill a squirrel that happens to be rabid, cook the meat and eat it, can you contract rabies? And apparently, yes. The both reported patients' transmissions presumed through the handling of infected brain material. There are also prophylaxis applied to a group who drank unpasteurized milk from an infected cow and no transmit. I don't understand.
Squirrel brain.
What the hell does yes mean? It says, can you get rabies? And then he says, can you cook it out?
You can't cook it out. That's what I was saying. I don't think you can cook rabies out.
You can cook it out. You can cook AIDS out.
AIDS is weaker than rabies.
Is it?
Well, if they were in a fight.
If I were in some government lab, I'd create some sort of super rabies as a biological weapon and turn another country into zombies.
Squirrel rabies in the USA is almost non-existent.
Yeah, they eat each other.
So China, apparently squirrels are not often rabid. I've been misled by Naked and Afraid.
Everyone wants to talk about this animal or that animal being rabid. Everything can be rabid. Like, I guess some animals can carry it. They make it seem like raccoons carry it as if they're like and a carrier is something that won't be killed by it. But I think they still die from it, so that doesn't really make sense. In any case, just fucking cook them, and we'll see it. If I've seen rabid animals, you know it immediately. Like, you're like, oh shit, rabid thing, kill it. I've seen rabids. I saw a rabid raccoon one time. It was immediately evident that raccoon has rabies. It was the middle of the day, and it was stumbling around like it was drunk. It was like, gun that thing down and bury it somewhere. We're not going to worry about that. It won't be an issue. I'm more worried about you blasting through the forest with your 12 gauge.
Really?
Why would you be worried about that?
I think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this. I can't wait till the hunting starts. That's going to be the best. That's going to be the best part.
We're gonna be hungry. I wonder what PKA on Thursday is gonna be like. I picture us just like around the fire, laying on our backs, wishing it was tomorrow.
Yeah. So how are you doing it on Thursday?
Basically live. Like, there's gonna be a cameraman there, and we're gonna have a bunch of lav mics, and it might not be 4 hours. I probably won't be 4 hours. Like, we don't have topics or like the internet or any of those things.
I think it's going to be great. We'll sit around the campfire. We'll tell some campfire stories. We'll talk about what we're doing out there. We'll talk about, our experiences that day. And I think that'll amount to like 2 or 3 hours of talk at least.
No, but that's with your energy right now saying that. You're going to get half an hour into that Thursday one and be like, this is fucking bullshit. Oh, all the squirrels gone.
Can you eat squirrel fur?
Yeah, thinking about eating Chiz.
I think we're gonna do just fine as long as we kill some squirrels. I got to watch a video to remind myself how to clean and like gut a squirrel.
You said that a week ago.
Well, I watched one of the rabbit. I actually saved the GIF. Have you ever seen it? You basically so you start with its neck and you just sort of wring it out until everything shoots out its asshole.
I have seen that, actually.
Yeah.
I just have this idea that it won't work for me. That I'll squeeze the rabbit and it's not just going to
explode.
Pop. Yeah.
No, it's not that hard. I've done it.
Oh, okay.
Well, why aren't you on this trip? You sound really useful.
Is it too late to get you in? We need a rabbit squeezer.
It's just what you said. You squeeze laterally. You don't want to just have a big handful of broken bones in every part of the rabbit. So you just squeeze it like toothpaste, like the ribs in, and you'll think like, this isn't gonna fucking work. And then I only did it once. My grandpa watched me. And then you squeeze the last bit, and it's almost like a zit, where it's like you feel the pressure build, and then just. And it's just a weird cacophony of different colored
everything
tubes.
comes out.
Yeah, and lots of smells, I imagine.
They just eat grass and small, so it's not bad. It's like cow shit.
I gutted a deer one time with my dad, and I did not enjoy that. I just really didn't. I knew then, and even he was saying, I hate doing this. I hate this. I only saw him do it the once.
Is it the task or the fact that it was something that used to be alive?
Oh, it's the task. I don't give a fuck if it was alive. I don't care.
You are
cold-blooded.
I agree with you. I don't care about that.
It's an animal. It's a piece of meat. Like, we're far too separated from the butchery of our food and the eating of our food. When I go to Zaxby's, I know what happened. I don't give a fuck about that chicken. Fuck that chicken. When I go to, like, Sonny's Barbecue, I don't care if they rape the pig daily to make it taste so good. It's a pig. It doesn't matter to me. They chop those things up. They cut their throats and drain them alive in some cases. They shoot them in the head with those piston guns. Fuck them. They're animals and they're delicious.
I respect that point of view, and I can see where you're coming from. And I understand the hypocrisy in my point of view, which is like, oh, yes, I eat chicken every day, but I assumed those chickens were happily pecking around the farm next to the red farmhouse with their friend the goat and perhaps a talking spider. I'm not sure.
No. I want to believe that they were in like a chicken Auschwitz and their death was a release. And so in a way, it's for the best.
You want to watch the chicken Auschwitz video?
Yeah, let's do that. But I also just want to wrap up that thought. Like, you're sort of like, hey, they're animals. They're not people. Fuck them. Is what I do, but not what I think. So, all right, let's go to I have it queued up here, actually.
Oh, could you link us all? Because even I lost my link.
Yeah, sure. So, there's Jay for your benefit.
Okay.
I guess McDonald's and somebody else has been under fire for the rough treatment of chickens that make
Tyson.
That's the other company, right? McDonald's
That's the
and
poultry
Tyson.
company.
I think McDonald's works with them, though, right? Like, they're definitely linked in.
McDonald's uses Tyson chicken, yes.
Okay, so McDonald's uses Tyson chicken, and there's some footage here that you're about to watch with us. And what happens is you'll cue it up at 0, and then we'll all just do 1, 2, 3, play. And anyway, you're gonna see some chickens. They're probably having a bad day. Are we ready?
Yep.
I am ready.
Ready, set, play.
Dramatic bullshit music.
You don't work for PETA, do you?
It's like Whacking Day on The Simpsons there.
There's probably misbehaving.
So we've been asking consumers about McDonald's food.
It was a call.
Even the chicken McNugget. I'm here at the Tyson plant to get you some answers.
So McDonald's is saying there's chicken in their chicken. I see this and it looks awful.
They're killing chickens that are injured or have birth defects.
He just used that nail as a hook.
Yeah.
Threw up.
Well, he killed it first.
It was flapping around.
It was flapping when he picked it up.
You ever heard the expression "chicken with its head cut off"?
Yes. Never.
Well, there's an expression. Flop. Yeah. They flop around once they're dead. Once their head's cut off.
They broke its neck right there.
Yeah.
Look at that. You didn't see that.
There's going to be like a massive chicken revolt, isn't there?
No, they're too dumb. Look at how many chickens are in there. You can't expect them to take like meticulous care with everyone. Just throw the spike hook at it and get on with your day.
Birds to the bucket in the middle of the barn, and
This is why Jeremy has such great forearms.
still alive.
Yeah, it is. These are the buckets that Jeremy carries. Yeah. Or used to.
You can see her blinking. That was a live
Yeah, it's still
chicken.
alive. He didn't do a good job. No, I should have done a better job.
These are definitely not free range.
This is how like 95% of the chicken is. Now that is caused by a bad grower. Like they should be getting that chicken out of there. He shouldn't be in there long enough to get rotten. That's a chicken that's been stepped upon. That's a birth defect. Birth defect. Birth defect.
So chickens, you were telling me before, they often, like, this is a common birth defect. Like, their legs are
all of these
jacked
are
up.
very these leg things, these the hip dysplasia, the dislocated limbs, the thing where the chicken's head was like upside down and back. This is different. This is
I think the legs,
doing this.
yeah, are because they grow so fast. They can't even support themselves a lot of the time.
So they're just loading chickens into crates here.
They'll be really tiny with that same leg thing, like freakishly tiny. It's something else. It's a deformity of some kind.
So they just grab a chicken by the wing and throw it into a truck.
Well, it's going to be dead in like 3 hours and like slaughtered, so they don't care what happens to it at that point. Now that I can totally see as pretty rough. When they're slinging them into those cages like that, that seems excessive. What the farmer's doing there, as bad as it looks when he's whacking them in the head, he's killing the chickens that that aren't going to survive anyway. And
I'm confused. So, okay, so this is basically just sort of like a animal activist video that's basically targeting both Tyson and McDonald's in this. I mean, they keep saying McDonald's, but this is all like Tyson videos.
That's the chicken McDonald's uses.
Yeah, and because it sounds better to be like, oh, McCruelty than like, oh, Tyson. You know, it's still a big company, but not as big name recognition.
Yeah.
And Kyle was saying that a lot of this stuff to him is just the chicken
commonplace,
business.
Every day, the chicken business. Like those chickens.
That's true for cattle. It's true for any sort of.
It's not like that. So it's different with chickens because they do them in such huge numbers. You notice how many were in that house. There's like 1 square foot per bird is the usual standard, and those chicken houses have like 25 or 30,000 square foot. So there are 25 or 30,000 animals in each one of those houses. The reason they're killing them is because they're what are called culls, C-U-L-L, and it's common business practice always to kill the ones that aren't going to make it. You know, since there are 120, 200,000 creatures on one farm, like percentage-wise, there's going to be a lot of animals that aren't going to make it to 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. They're just fucked up and crippled and deformed in one way or another.
Now, what about the pipe with the nail in it? Like, that didn't seem like the wrong... So the thing...
I wish I had mine. I wish I had mine.
I don't know
mine's so much cooler.
I don't know what I want from them, though, right? Like, so how I imagine a cow being killed is they take this like a bolt gun, like an air compressor thing. It drives like a bolt into their head, and the cow just sort of insta-drops. But I wouldn't expect that with every freaking chicken.
But with the cows, weren't they sticking their head through a gate and then like sawing through the bottom of the neck, and they were letting the cow bleed out?
Different places do different things. Different countries have different practices. I'm sure you could find videos of awful... I saw that video in China of them sawing that poor whale shark to death, from tail to front. That was horrible. But there's that thing with the stick with the nail in it. First of all, what my father created many years ago was much more sophisticated. The handle uses a golf club's handle, so you got nice leather grips there, and that fuses onto a piece of spring steel from the boot of an old car, so it can never bend.
What's a boot of a car?
Trunk. I call a trunk a boot. I don't know.
I think only British fuck.
That Georgia culture.
It is. That really is. I guess it's a Southern thing. I refer to it as the boot of the car, or the trunk, whatever. You know, they used to hold the trunk of the car up, and you know, it's a long piece of string still, and it's just a long piece of thin rod, and at the end, it's sort of first it bends back this way, and then it comes down, makes a bit of a crook, and then extends down to a spiky point, so that you can, in one motion, cut the chicken's head off or hit it in the head and you know, kill it, and in the next motion, stab it and then put it into a bucket or a tractor or wherever it needs to go, because otherwise you have to bend over each time and pick them up. There's nothing wrong with what those people were doing.
It makes sense if there's that many. Like, you can't just be taking everyone out to a wood block, chopping its head off.
They have... I read once, like, what the poultry company, like, the preferred methods or the approved methods of, like, culling them, and separating the head from the body is one of them. But there were a couple of crazy ones where I was like, who's doing this? It was like you had to put them in like a machine and remove the atmosphere from it. And it was like, really? Who's got one of those? What kind of creepy motherfuckers over there like, oh, calm down, baby.
Well, imagine the creators of this video, I mean, they're focusing in on what they feel is the cruelty, right? But their ultimate message is to be vegetarian, because, you know, what's the ending slate there? It's keep it off your plate. Yeah. So even if they were being treated humane, then they just have to focus on the fact that, oh my God, they're selling chickens for food. So
one thing to keep in mind, those chickens in that chicken house, if you were to like free them, they'd all die in a week or two. Like those things can't.
They have no survival instincts. At that point.
They have the instincts, but they got none of the tools. Their breasts are massive. They're super weighed down. They can't fly. Chickens are supposed to be able to fly. Like, they're not flightless birds. Like, regular chickens, like before we did that to them and made them white, used to be black and red and stuff like that. And if you got near them, they'd fly up in a tree. And if you fucked with them, they'd use those crazy long spurs to fuck you up. A chicken's a formidable adversary out in the wild.
Fuck birds.
those things that we just saw getting beaten down are just some genetic freaks that we created to make a lot of breast meat because it's delicious. So let's keep eating them and stop worrying about their feelings.
Yeah, they don't
I
have
don't
feelings.
get it. Yeah, maybe they do have feelings. Who cares? Maybe they have deep emotional thoughts and they have a family unit. They are delicious. That's all that matters.
What I'm
These
thinking,
vegetarians never have videos talking about all like the rabbits and ground squirrels and everything that are killed by their threshers getting their fucking wheat or whatever for their nasty pseudo meat patties that they ruin 4th of July with. Like, it's just, I don't know. They kill a lot of animals too.
Kyle just said, if you put that chicken in the wild, it'd be dead within a week. And I'm like, soon I'll find out if I'm any better. Like, I've got all the tools to survive, but none of the
I have
instincts.
a great idea.
Go
What
on.
if I brought with us on our trip a chicken? What if I brought, stick with me here. What if I bring like a 6-pound live chicken and, you know, enough chicken food to keep it alive? And at some point, Woody has to make the decision. Like, we're hungry. What are we going to do? And we have to slaughter the chicken. We'll name it and everything. It'll be like a mascot. Until
Dude,
the
do
time
it.
comes.
That sounds great. We'll can you get him in a cage or something? We'll stick it in the back of the truck.
No, he'll hang out with us.
No,
they
but
won't.
I have a cat carrier thing. Wouldn't that be perfect to transport the chicken?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Although
cruel.
honestly, if you just blind them, they won't go far. That's what we usually do. We'll just blind them real good, and then they stay close. You can go cluck cluck cluck, and they think you're their friend, and none of that's true. None of that's true. We won't blind the chicken or anything like that. Yeah, we'll put him in a cat carrier or something, and he could live
Do you
with us.
need
That'd be
one?
fun.
Do you need me to bring it?
A chicken or
No, I imagine you got access to chickens. I just don't know if you have a way to like transport and keep the
I
chicken
actually
for
do
a week.
have a cat carrier on my. Maybe no, that's like a cat house. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, you should bring something.
Okay.
You guys are going to wake up on night 2 to chicken shrieks and look over and see a mountain lion.
Yeah, the
eating that
bobcat. Yeah, that's what I'm like, dude, if you want to get fucked with by wild animals, sleep with the chicken next to you.
Let's bring a bunch of chickens, surround ourselves in them.
That could be a thing too. Now, that's one thing I didn't even consider. Like fox, and I guarantee this place is swarming with fox, and I bet there's coyote too. Like,
Can
they'll
we eat
come for
those
that
things?
chicken if he's making some noise.
Dude, that's the thing. That chicken is going to be our bait.
You can't eat fox there, can you?
You can eat it.
It's
I
a
don't know.
squirrel.
It's not seasoned though. I don't think.
Look at that big fucking squirrel. It's like 15 pounds.
Yeah, you guys just need to do like flash cuts to like every night at dinner. Every night, it's a wildly different shaped squirrel. This squirrel almost looks like a fish. Like very flaky meat on this squirrel.
Squirrel's wearing a shoe.
Yeah. This one's got a goofy 18th century hat on.
This squirrel howls at the moon.
I'm looking forward to this trip, man. This is gonna be good.
I'm not looking forward to this trip at all. I am so fucked.
You'll do fine. Worst case scenario is you lose a little bit of weight and you get cranky, like, or
and get
someone
eaten by a
kills you,
bobcat. Yeah.
or the hobos come out.
I'm excited to see how Chiz handles all this because honestly, I feel like I can go a long time without food. Like the way my eating schedule works, I guess, is like I wake up and I don't eat again until like 7 p.m. I eat like one meal. It's at 7 p.m. at night. So like I feel like I can go a full day without food, like no problem. Like I get those
that's
hunger.
like a normal person's lunch because you said you stay up till like 6 a.m. So like that's like me saying, oh, I'll wake up at 9. I don't eat till noon. Like
Well, all right. So today I did that though. Like I got up today at like 9. I got that's about as early as I'm gonna get up normally. Although tomorrow I gotta get up at 8. But I was out all day and I didn't eat. I think I can deal with not eating pretty well.
I had dinner less than 2 hours ago, and I'm hungry right now. It's.
Better hope there's lots of squirrel in those woods.
I am truly fucked about this trip.
I'm really looking forward to this coverage. I'm gonna say
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
yeah, I want the videographer to have every day start the way it does in The Shining, where it's like day 2. It's all dramatic. Everybody
I
gets
like that
sadder
too.
and
Yeah. The Shining's my favorite movie. I love The Shining. I watched it last week.
Yeah, I tried to get my girlfriend to watch it. She's never seen it, and we still haven't got around to it. I love it, but every time we try and watch it, it's like 11:30 at night, and it's
Please
almost
don't
3 hours long.
Babadook it and like watch 5 minutes at a time until you eventually quit.
Yeah.
The Babadook was. I don't want to see that. That was just terrible. That was too much. But The Shining is great. Shining is one of the best movies ever made. Stanley Kubrick, best director ever. Guy was a fucking genius. I love his 2001: Space Odyssey. All those movies.
I'm due for a Clockwork Orange again. Oh,
I don't like it.
I've seen.
I like
that.
it. It's so creepy.
It's too creepy.
Care for a little ultra violence?
Yeah.
Bit of ultraviolence, eh? Yeah. Bit of rape your wife while I sing you a little song, eh? Yeah. Like, that's too much. It's too much. They're so like it's just they're just brutal for no reason, and I don't even understand it really.
Singing in the rain. Somehow that is so creepy. For people that don't know, there's a scene where they go into a house and I guess rape or kill
invasion.
or beat and kill. It's a home invasion, and they do it to Singing in the Rain. But that
he's
adds,
singing the song as he does it.
Yeah, singing in the rain, and I think he has a cane, and he'll just be like doing the dance, and then whap, like hit a guy with the cane, and it's just so in your face.
They end up crippling him, don't they?
Which movie is this?
This is a Clockwork Orange.
Oh,
it's just
okay. It's kind of like American Psycho. Have you seen that?
Yes.
American Psycho, I like.
Do you like Huey Lewis in the News? Like,
DiCaprio
he always puts on a song and then he'll like narrate, everything as he's like putting on the gloves and the plastic and grabs the axe.
I've seen it 4 times. I still don't really understand it. I don't think anybody really can, because it's almost like he's the editor, and by he I mean Patrick Bateman, the insane person. There's pieces that seem to almost be missing. There's pieces where you wonder if that even really happened or if he just imagined it. And Leonardo DiCaprio was originally chosen for that role. They offered him 4 times what the rate was going to be for that role, $21 million. But Christian Bale knew that DiCaprio would end up turning it down because of like the crazy nature of the character, and pushed his schedule open for 9 months because he knew that DiCaprio would back out. And
he nailed it.
He
did
nailed
a great
it.
job. I like
when he's doing that whole facial routine.
Yeah,
where it's super fucked up, and like they're doing something awful, like that brutally beat and murder scene and rape scene, and it's like a juxtaposition of that awful thing, and then they're just like dancing around, like doing something happy. It makes it even creepier than if they were doing it like nefariously, like in their face, like I'm gonna fucking rape you or whatever they would say.
Yeah,
about Christian Bale's the actor's name, right?
Yeah.
He does the body changes. That's incredible. If he needs to be big and buff for Batman, he makes that happen. He's Batman, right? And if he needs to be skinny for, what was that?
The Machinist.
Machinist. Yeah,
the Machinist.
Right. The mechanic.
Close enough.
He works in a Jiffy Lube for 8 months. Everything works out.
Right? If he's super skinny, and he needed to be like a Brad Pitt type body for American Psycho, and he did it. If Leonardo DiCaprio was that guy, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's got one body type, a little pudgy,
fat.
Skinny fat. Yeah, he does not ever like get in shape for a role. Oh, please tell me.
Who had an amazing body change that it really freaked me out the whole time I watched the movie was Dallas Buyers Club, Matthew McConaughey. Like I'm not even a fan of him, but he was so freaking skinny in that movie. I don't know. It's like he malnourished himself just to prepare for it. He said.
What about Jared Leto in that movie? He was playing the transsexual. He made a fucking body change. And another one. What's that movie that just came out with Jake Gyllenhaal? Just did that movie called The Fighter. So his schedule went like he did. What was the movie where Nightcrawler? He did Nightcrawler, and if you've seen Nightcrawler, it's great. It's on Netflix. Highly recommend that. But he's incredibly thin in that. He thought that character wouldn't have enough money to be spending on a lot of food. Plus, he's always in his own head. He wouldn't be eating a lot. So he figured that character needed to be all thin and emaciated. So he lost 40 pounds for it or something like that. Then he has to make The Fighter, and right after that is Everest, which I don't know if the previews are out yet, but it's his next movie that's coming out where they climb Mount Everest and there's a whole disaster thing going on. But for The Fighter, he was doing an incredible workout program. The Fighter turned out not to be a very good movie, but the amount of effort he put into it is right up there with all his legendary body changes. He gained like 40 pounds or something right back and put on a ton of muscle. He's huge, really big and buff, bulky.
Did you see Cape Fear with De Niro?
Yeah.
Dude, that was amazing. His body. I wonder, how do they do that? Like, it seems like, I wonder if they're on steroids or something to get like that level of change.
I know with the weight.
Cape Fear. What did he do?
Oh, he turned really buff. Robert De Niro is big, strong, and ripped.
Intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you probably don't think of De Niro as like a ripped, intimidating, kick your ass kind of guy, but in Cape Fear, he absolutely was. He totally.
You know who got really buff for a while and nobody noticed it? Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Do you remember Adam Sandler's? Do you ever Remember the Zohan when he was like that Israeli Mossad Special Forces agent in New York and he's trying to be a hairdresser, but occasionally he like beats the shit out of. Okay, bad movie. I don't blame you. Google search real quick, Adam Sandler buff or Adam Sandler in great shape or something like that. He's got. I'm trying to think who to compare him to. Like,
all I'm finding are fat pictures on the beach.
I try and bang it because I'm not getting anything on Google. Just a lot of Chris Pratt.
What was the movie called?
Well, then I might just find naked pictures of Adam Sandler.
Oh, Remember the Zohan? Maybe
Yeah.
that. Let's see. Yeah, here we go.
I'm not seeing any pictures that make
Hang on, I got him.
him the body I'd pick. Oh, wait.
Here you go.
I might have one. Let's see what you got. Oh, yeah, the same picture.
He's not
I
like
found.
in great shape. He's got
That's
like
Adam
that played
Sandler.
football in high school and drinks 11 beers a day, but still works out.
That's Adam Sandler, though. That guy's like a skinny / pudgy, just always out of shape kind of.
Yeah, if I look like him right now, I'd swap.
Yeah, he's in great shape. Like that one shot where he's like got his hands above his head. He looks
Yeah,
good
he's
there.
got kind of a. I guess you'd call that a six-pack. It's
Yeah.
a weird six-pack. Normally, six-packs are most defined at the top and least at the bottom. He seems more defined at the bottom than the top, and he's like, there's a clear six there, but isn't the bottom six supposed to be one lower? Does he have a four-pack?
He's got a lot of side pack.
Yeah,
Yeah, his obliques are amazing.
his
don't get
arms
me
are really
started.
big. try to find one that shows his arms well. Like maybe down. Actually, if you go down there to where he's actually doing that lady's hair, like, and he's got his arm kind of in a.
He's
position
wearing
like,
a long-sleeve shirt in the one I'm looking
there's
at.
one
For
where
those
he's
of you
wearing a
on the way to
vest.
work, we're looking at half-naked pictures of Adam Sandler.
Yeah, he's so buff,
Don't you wish you had the video
fucking
version?
yoked.
That's not Adam Sandler. The one I just
Those
looked
body
at.
changes, they can be so intense. Like that, even if you're in great shape all the time, but you go from like a healthy weight of like 170 up to like 210 and then back down to like 140 over the course of like a year and a half, that has to be almost as bad for you as just being fat the whole time.
Look
You
at
know?
Val Kilmer. Look at Val Kilmer. That guy, he dropped
Yeah.
all that weight in Tombstone, was emaciated. He looked like he had tuberculosis. And what no one knows is starting about 8 years ago, he started gaining weight. And he hasn't stopped. And right
He got
now,
pretty big.
he's very big right now, and he's getting bigger. I think this is all him getting ready for his next role. I think his next role, he's going to be obese, and he's just heading there. Once he gets there, we'll see the
Preparing
transformation.
for like 6 or 7 years or what?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he's going to play like a 1,000-pound man. I think he's on his way there.
10
This
more
is gonna
years,
be
he'll
his-
just play Wilfred Brimley. the diabetes man.
That was Batman. That was a good-looking guy too. Val Kilmer was an attractive man in great shape, and then something happened.
Yeah, I mean the days of like Top Gun are over for him.
Yeah, remember that?
No
thing
no more topless beach volleyball.
Look,
I'm trying to
and look
figure out how much of an excuse being older is. And,
Look at Tom Cruise. Look at fucking Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise
Tom Cruise
looks
is fat?
amazing. No, he's the opposite. Tom Cruise is the body of a 25-year-old. Like he looks fantastic. A great 25-year-old.
Well, that's all that Scientology.
I wonder if they're on steroids. You know, like if you told me that he had access to every cocktail in the world and he would make a pro athlete blush, I wouldn't be at all surprised. Like, oh yeah, and I wouldn't bother either. He's a product,
Yeah.
right? You know, he's gonna buff it and shine it, and he is the product.
I don't think Tom Cruise specifically would do drugs. It seems like Scientology is very much against that. Like they don't even like modern psychiatry and like things like Valium and antidepressants and
Also,
so on.
if he's on, as a fan of the UFC, I am an armchair drug spotter, and he has none of the symptoms, right? There's no back knee, no acne, no, there's a term for when they get puffy nipples, like gynoplasty or something, I forget. But he
That's it.
doesn't have that at all.
bitch tits.
Yeah, though it doesn't have the bitch tits. A human growth hormone has a particular kind of like your cheekbones and head swell in a kind of way. Joe Rogan has it.
They don't swell. They literally grow. That your facial bone structure and your skull literally keep growing.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise has no symptoms of that.
Nope.
So
he hasn't even gotten that weird tooth fixed.
Maybe Val Kilmer's next role is going to be about Chris Christie. Because he's getting there, man. I'm telling you, I'm looking at pictures, and he could probably pull it off.
Dude, speaking of amazing body changes, Jay, elephant there, you've lost another, did you say 72 pounds since we last?
Well, when I last saw you guys, I was down like 15, but it's been a total of 72 since then. And that was February 1st when I started like the lifestyle change we talked about, months ago.
But you lost, like, from your high, what are you down?
Oh, 255 total lost.
And
now you're down to what?
I'm at 239 right now. And I was at 494.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, that last like 10 or 15 pounds.
You used to exist with Dr. Chiz always on your back. You had exactly. A big man on your back, hanging on piggyback style all the time. Where we going now, boss?
I was 2 Americans or 3 Europeans, depending on how you look at
it. Do you still have amazing calves right now? Are your calves? Do you still have amazing calves right now?
Oh yeah, my calves are. I actually have pictures of my calves. I've taken pictures because I did it all with cycling. So my legs are just. Okay, so here's the thing. I have a funny story. I cycle a lot. I mean, I do. I think the last couple, probably the last month has been kind of slow one because it's so damn hot and all the smoke and stuff. But I was doing about 15 hours a week on the bike total, and I went into my gym the other day to show my personal trainer who helps me do the lifting 3 times a week my custom cycling jerseys I had made. Because I had the hashtag GoTeamJ and all of my Twitter followers who were interested in weight loss, they joined that, and we probably lost thousands of pounds like across the world right now. But I showed him the jersey, and he didn't recognize me for a minute because he had never seen me wearing my cycling gear. He's only seen me wearing oversized gym clothes because I was too cheap to go buy new gym clothes. So I was wearing 2 or 3 sizes too big. Looking like a kid wearing his dad's clothes. So he saw me like wearing my cycling gear, and he was kind of like, holy crap. And he's a professional bodybuilder. He's retired now, but he coaches now people who compete. And he's won Mr. California twice. And when my next training session, he told me, he's like, dude, if I had legs like yours, I would wear cycling shorts everywhere I went. He's like, it's insane how far you've come. But let me see if I can pull up a picture real quick of, you mentioned my calves. I'm proud of these calves. Damn it, you're going to look at them now.
I can't wait.
I know. Woody's about to be second place. First time on the show.
The anticipation, I know it's a lot, but I wasn't prepared.
You said you were 230 right now?
239.
230. How tall are you?
6'4".
Makes more sense.
Well, my body fat right now is at 19%. We're shooting for 14. And a guy my size and my muscle mass, 14% actually puts me pretty healthy. Like at 6'4", 239, I'm a 38 waist. So you can see it's like just kind of like dense and heavy all over. Not just in the head, but
how is Barnacle doing? I know that he's made an attempt to join you.
Jerry's got other things he's kind of got to work on before the weight. I've talked to him about it quite a bit. In fact, I just this last weekend was up there with him in Seattle, and it's one of those things where he's kind of attacking the weight as being the reason for the depression, but the weight is and this applies for most people. I think people will understand this. The weight for him is a result of the coping of the problem. So you can't treat the coping; you have to treat what's causing you to cope. So attacking the weight for him wasn't fixing the problem. It was just further putting him into a depression because then he wasn't coping. Now, I'm not saying eating unhealthily is a proper way of coping, but it can also
be a cycle, like a feedback cycle, right? Like
exactly.
The depression leads to the weight gain. The weight gain leads to the depression.
There, I just put the.
It's like just like a drug addiction.
There. Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those things where if you're not legit attacking the problem. Yeah, that was at the end of one of my rides. So now we're my legs are getting a lot leaner, but I like somebody's comment was your calf has a calf. So
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've enjoyed it. I spent a week, almost a week away from the healthy eating here. Being up with Jerry, it was a different there were some different habits going on up there, and there was a lot of eating out because we were doing PDX, or not PDX, but vlogger fare. And there was a lot of on the go stuff. So you try and eat healthy at a restaurant. Even if you order a salad, it could be a 2,000 calorie salad depending on how they load it up.
Yeah.
So I came back, and today was my first 40-mile ride since I got back from Seattle, and it kicked my ass. It's amazing how fast you can also get out of the swing, when it's not a daily routine.
So, what'd you do? Like what I'm gonna guess is there was no magic diet, no Atkins, just exercise and.
Well, we talked about this last time. When I was almost 500, I had a gastric bypass in 2009.
That right,
But,
I remember.
But like I was telling you guys last time, is I was gaining the weight back. I had gained back 100 pounds from my lightest after having the gastric bypass. So it's just like I was saying with Jerry is having the gastric bypass. It's just a tool for you to leverage to try and get healthy. To kind of give you like, okay, here's some help. If you don't use this, then it's not going to work. So I was gaining the weight back because I didn't change anything. You take that mentality of, I can do whatever I want. I'm not going to gain any weight. Well, that's a bunch of shit. Anyone can get their weight back whether you've had your stomach cut up or not. So I managed to have a gastric bypass and still gain back 100 pounds. I'm like, there's really something messed up here if I can manage to do that. So that's when I finally just earlier this year went to CES again and was editing all my videos, and I noticed I was trying to be very creative with like all the recording angles. Like, okay, if I hold the camera this way, then my double chin looks less pronounced, and if I tell my cameraman like, hey, chest up only, then you can't see my spare tire, and all that sort of stuff. And I was getting tired of it. And then
how much did you weigh at that point?
310.
Okay.
And so my audience was really calling me out. And then I did a DX Racer chair review. And, there's no way you could do a chair review without kind of exposing your whole body. And that was like an eye-opener because I had been on YouTube, 2.5 years at that point. My audience was like, holy shit, dude, you need to get yourself under control, because you could see from when I started YouTube 3 years ago till then, it was like, Jay, you're climbing the ladder again. So at that point I said, screw it. You know what? I'm gonna buy a bike. And I bought a bike, and I've bought a new bike since then. It's all carbon fiber and custom fitted. And now I've put almost 3,000 miles on that bike just since February 1st.
Nice. That's incredible.
Wow.
Well, there's something I want to do, and I'm training for it now, and it's going to be hard. In fact,
where in the country do you live, by the way?
I'm 60 miles east of LA.
Okay. Yes, I was just wondering if you're going to hit bad weather. Not so much.
Not so much here, but in May I want to, and I'm really hoping nothing gets in the way. I do have a bad nerve in my back, which could keep this from happening, but I'm going to do everything I can to keep it. I want to do a charity ride from LA to Seattle. So that would be about 2 weeks at 100 miles a day. That'd be about 2 weeks it would take. And I would have to actually ride through the Redwood Forest and over all the Oregon mountains, and that's going to be hard. But I think I think I can do it, though.
That's aggressive. A century a day is a lot.
It is a lot, but I reached the point to where I was doing 65 miles every single ride. I was doing it in about 3.5 hours with zero soreness, zero numbness, and zero back pain by the end of the ride. So it's just all about building it up, building up the endurance. And the way I ride, a lot of people don't like to ride with me because when I get on the bike, it's like 110% from the moment I clip my feet in to the moment I unclip my feet. It's just... I'm just going to go out there and do some damage. That's the whole point of it, getting on the bike for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like you said, when we got on the Skype call earlier, you're like, damn, you look skinnier. And it's just, I just kept on with the routine. Like I said, I wasn't dieting. It just was a lifestyle change, and the weight loss was a side effect.
How quickly did the weight fall off in the beginning, starting from like the almost 500? Because I've always wondered, they say you can lose so much weight so fast when you start out that heavy. Like, did you like wean yourself off? Like, I'm going to go from a ton of calories to a little bit less, which is still a lot, and then a little less, or did you just all at once?
You know why you lose it so fast in the beginning is because while your stomach and your intestine is healing, you're on a purely liquid diet, and then you go from purely liquid to soft purees like puddings and smoothies and things like that, then to like chicken broth and beef broth. It's 6 months before you can eat solid meat again. So you're eating so little. I lost 100 pounds in the first month and a half. But then it started slowing down to all the way down to 20 pounds a month, 5 pounds a month, 1 pound a month, and then nothing, and then you gain a pound a month, and then you gain 5 a month, and you gain 20 a month, because once you start getting back into your old routines and you're eating whenever you want, Like I said, it doesn't matter if you've had a bypass or not. Nutrition and the way your body absorbs food, it's the same regardless of what you do to your body.
My brothers just went through that process. He had a gastric bypass. I'm going to make this up. I don't know, 2.5, 3 years ago. And just like you, that restrictive diet, like, yeah, he was just...
Oh, it's great in the beginning. You're like, yeah, I'm a fat losing machine. But then over time, you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
You know what happened?
And he got back, and then I think right now he's near his peak weights. So it didn't...
But let me tell you this, though. Having had the gastric bypass, I did not lose weight any faster through the proper healthy, clean eating and cycling this year than anyone who hasn't had it. It's like that trick is gone. That ship has sailed. All it does is help with some of the actual appetite. But, you know, I was kind of surprised. I thought, if I just eat clean and I get on the bike, the weight will just fall off again. No, I was averaging anywhere between 15 to 18 pounds a month, riding that many hours, doing 15 hours of cardio plus 3 days lifting in the gym while eating clean and taking vitamins and supplements. You would think that you'd lose it faster having a bypass, but no, any person without a bypass would lose it at the same rate. It's just your body is acclimated, and it just takes, doing it the right way for things to happen.
He's under the impression that he beat the bypass, and now it's like stretched and back where it was or something. I might have it wrong. It might not be a gastric bypass, but I think that's the one he had.
No, you know what's happening now? I've noticed this thing, and let me just start off by saying it. When I tell people, I'm not ashamed to say I had a gastric bypass because it saved my life. But at the same time, I tell people all the time, the bypass doesn't work if you don't use the tool. Like you take a hammer, you break a window, you didn't use the hammer right. So I'm telling anyone listening right now might be overweight or considering it. The bypass is not the answer. It's simply a mechanism for you to leverage.
Steroids.
You don't, juicing. You got to take it the right time. It's one of those things where you don't actually stretch your stomach back out, and I'm not trying to be graphic. What you stretch out is the intestine attaching to your stomach. Mm-hmm. So you've made like a faux stomach out of your intestine because it's got to have somewhere to go. But yeah, it's possible. But he can undo that too. If he just starts eating the right foods in the right amounts and exercises and stuff, it goes back. It really does. Like right now, I can't eat anything like I could 7 months ago.
I hate to make excuses for him because, he's, I don't know how heavy he is. He's, I'll say 350, 375, something like that. And that's pretty big, right? Like anyone can be thinner than that. But he's had cancer twice, so he doesn't walk very well, and he has one lung, and that makes following your footsteps, for example, a lot tougher for him.
But I don't attribute my cycling to being the weight loss. I attribute my cycling to me being able to breathe, and having free movement and alleviating some of the back pain I mentioned earlier with the bad nerve. To put it into perspective, I went to Seattle last week Thursday night and got back late Monday and was almost forced to eat out every single meal except for one home cooked meal. I still lost 2 pounds while I was out there because you end up with the proper eating and metabolism, you still can burn lots of fat. It's the food. The exercising is only 20% of it, roughly, depending on the trainer you ask. What happens is if you eat the right foods and you keep the carbs, the healthy carbs lower, let's say 200, 250 calories a meal, or not a meal, but a day, you can do what's called carb cycling where, and this is what I do now, because I'm now in like a shred routine where we're trying to get all the fat that's kind of like deep into the tissues out, and it's a special routine to do that, where you do say a 50 carb, day, 50 grams of carb on Monday, and then like 75 on Tuesday, and you work up to where like Friday you're up to 200, and then on the weekend you just like 400, right? And then Monday you go back to 50. So it's carb cycling. When you do that, you keep your body constantly in check, and when it does see those extra carbs, as long as you do something with those, like go ride a bike that one day, it turns into energy and not fat.
Wow, all the way up to 400, huh?
Well, that's usually like a cheat. That's usually like a cheat day or something. But you could eat 400 grams of carbs in one meal, though.
I need to look at like a box of cheeses because I have no idea. 1,200.
Yeah. Like you go to Starbucks, you get yourself a venti frappuccino. You get like 1,000 calories there.
Yeah, but the calories aren't the problem. It's the carbs. It's the source.
It's
of
all
calories.
sugar. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, things that I loved that I don't eat nearly as much of anymore, like potatoes or white bread and stuff like that.
Those are my favorite things. Potatoes are my favorite. They're literally my favorite.
I'm like, I love these rice cakes. These rice cakes are amazing. I'm like crying into my hand while I'm eating dinner. But no, it's just it's just like anything else. So honestly, it's just willpower.
So how's Jerry doing? Is he making progress or not so much?
No, well, I think he was also at 310 where he was like, screw this, I need to do something. He did that video about being depressed. He's all the way down to like 285 right now. So he's lost weight. That's
awesome. Yeah.
Now,
he's plateaued there. And as long as he gets things in check and doesn't go the other way, he can still make lots of progress.
Now, what about, has he considered drugs for the depression?
He's tried lots of different drugs. It's just he's kind of on a regimen of drugs, and he's trying to find the right, I guess, like cocktail of drugs that's where one's not countering the other and making him feel crazy. So I don't know. I don't take medications. I'm an anti kind of medication person, so I really don't know what he's going through.
Now, as a member of the community of people who have lost enormous amounts of weight and gotten healthy, how does it feel? Do you feel like what's happened with Jared Fogul somehow tarnishes your name and your reputation as well?
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm one step away from Ashley Madison right now.
So are you more likely to be a kitty diddler since you've lost all the weight?
Well, remember,
did you lose the weight to look more attractive to 9-year-olds?
Yeah, it could be. But
they'll never escape you.
But the gray hair and the forehead goatee, that keeps them all at bay.
Now, did you go to a black barber? Is that what happened? Like,
no.
Did they square you up?
Okay, so I did a video saying that I've got this like obsessive compulsive disorder where I'm always like sitting here twisting my hair and stuff, right? And I don't even realize I'm doing it. So I'll be sitting here editing, I'm like plucking out hair, and I'm like, God damn it! And I'll get mad at myself. So sometimes I create like an uneven hairline. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna take this beard trimmer and I'm just gonna like straighten this out. And over time, I just end up like pulling so much of it away. I'm like, well, now I gotta let it grow back out so I can start
5
all over
head,
again.
6 head, and then you grow it back down. And
that's
what it really was, Woody, was last time everyone said that you and I were having like a battle of the foreheads, and I was like, I've got to show Woody up on the forehead. So I'm going Beyonce on Woody.
Oh, motherfucker! You think I'm standing for this?
Yeah, so I mean, I thought about even like buzzing my head and just being like, "Oh, it's hot here, so I'm gonna buzz my head." But no, I mean, it's like I don't realize I'm doing it, and I pull my hair out, and then it's like, well, I need to fix this, and so I get to deal with like 2 months of every comment.
It's better now.
Oh yeah, no, it's a forehead goatee. It's like the latest in fashion. Seriously.
Wait, what is it? Is this just stubble right underneath your hairline?
Yeah. He went.
No, but
Why did you do that?
No.
So what he said was he was plucking his hair, and then he would shave it to match the pluck point until he has too much forehead.
I can't believe I'm actually having to like. Okay, I'm gonna do a forehead review here. Now stick with me on this, okay?
All right.
So my hairline is fairly normal, okay? And it's receded a little bit over here. I guess a little bit of widow peaks. But I'll sit here, and when I'm not thinking about it, I'll just kind of like start plucking out hair and not realize it. So then I'm like, oh, I've got a bald spot over here. I'm like, well, I can just like trim a little bit off the front with like a beard trimmer to even it out, right? But then you go back to the plucking. You don't realize you're doing it. So over like the course of 5 or 6 months, it's receded like 1.5 inches. And then I'm going, okay, well, either I'm just going to keep marching shit back down the top of my head.
I think you should.
Or I'm going to just let it grow back out.
A reverse mohawk.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Just take the center out.
Fuck hair. Who needs hair? I'm just going to slowly like pull it all out. No, so that's what it is. And then I'm left with this dilemma. Like, do I buzz my head and just deal with everyone going, why'd you buzz your head? Or do I continue to have fun with everyone asking, it's like I can do this awesome review. It goes viral, right? A couple 100,000 hits in a few days, depending on the topic. Like I had a viral video. The moment I did this the first time, like last year, and all the comments of like the 2,000 or 3,000 comments was, what the fuck is wrong with your forehead? But the more they comment on that, the more hits and the more search ranks, right? So I don't know. It is what it is. I don't care. It's just hair.
I used to buzz mine off, but I always looked like a convict. And and it took me a long time in life to understand how to actually style hair or my hair, I guess. I probably couldn't do anything with yours, but like style my hair. Like it took me a long time to figure that out.
All that salt and pepper. I mean, this is all my wisdom hair over here.
I wish I'd break out with some of that. I think a lot of girls think that's attractive. A little silver fox kind of look. I'm all for it. Like if I could gray out right here, I think that'd be real sexy.
You see, I have a skunk stripe. Do you see that? I have a stripe.
That's why I think
of
it's
my head.
hot. Yeah, yeah, because you young face, but with the gray, that means that still all there. But I've done some
I've
shit.
been around the
Not
block
even
a
a
little bit.
touch. Pristine.
Yeah,
I'll get one or two. Like
screw a touch of gray, man. It's a touch of natural. No, I started going gray when I was 14. So like normally I'll put like hair gel or something on my hair just because my hair is like really thick, right? And I'm a 90s kid, so I do hair gel, right? And one person made a comment the other day like, you gel your hair like it's 1999. And I was like, thank you, I appreciate that. That's a great comment. But it obviously it looks darker when I do that. So every now and then I'll do a vlog or something, and I'm just like, whatever. Like I just woke up and people were like, "Holy shit, you are really gray." But
it's a weird thing, like liking styles. I guess I feel like in high school you develop what looks good, and you maybe even stay current for a few years past high school, and then it freezes.
You just give up. You don't
like
care.
what? And I don't know if it's give up, but I feel like whatever I thought was attractive, right? Like a button-down shirt and jeans in when I was 22 years old, just stuck with me. And when I see other people wearing newer stuff or like floppy, like big loose jeans or I don't know, I never think that looks nice.
We've gone full circle, Woody. We're back to like guys who can't get into their jeans or they're wearing their sister's jeans. Like I mean, that was the thing. Like in high school, like in the 90s, it was all about the big baggy jeans and stuff, right?
Those Jean Co. brands, just gigantic, tubes of pant legs.
Like Levi's
like parachute pants made out
501.
of denim.
The button flies were like kind of cool, and they weren't like tight designer jeans. They were to me like cowboy jeans or something.
Yeah,
and
I still have button fly
Carpenter
jeans.
pants.
Some of them, they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle,
they
you
get
mastered
tight
your
now.
hair now.
Dude, early FPSRussia videos showed some bad hair. You and X-Jaws totally rocked the Bieber cut.
Oh man, that's what my hair looks like without any gel in it. It just
Not
kinda
the current
naturally goes that
Bieber
way.
cut. The early
old one.
Bieber cut. Yeah.
Yeah, the long like wispy one. Yeah.
I want to know how long you shaved your head, Kyle, because I did the same thing for a while, just laziness, like freshman year of college and
You can just do
sophomore
it.
year, just shaved it. But I look
think that's-
like a white supremacist with my eyebrow. I can't look at black people. I'm judging.
Not directly at them.
No. No.
I started when I was like 22, like maybe somewhere in there, and
I got
I
out
did
pretty
it.
good.
I probably did it for 2 or 3 years on and off. Like there would be periods of time when I was like, it's so fucking long, and it's hot and it's sweaty, and I'm just like, fuck this. And I'm just like, now all I need is somebody to square me up in the back, and I'm good again.
Yeah, it
But,
wasn't even
I
a girl
wanna
who
do
told me
that
to
right
do it.
now.
It was my dad. My dad like shamed me into it. Like one summer when I came home with like a buzzed hair, and he was just kind of like, "Taylor, what are you doing? Just have an adult haircut. Don't shave your head. You're not playing soccer in first grade. You're not a white supremacist. Grow your hair out and put it to the side." And so I stuck with it.
In those early FPSRussia videos, you're right. It is particularly bad. So there's 2 hairstyles that I can remember. There was one that's when it's just shaved. It's just when I've like buzzed it and it looks terrible that way. But then there's the other one when I would let it get long and then I would put some styling gel in it. But then I didn't know what the next step was. So I would just kind of mess it up and I'd be like, yeah, that's it. And there sometimes it's just like it looks like you just took some styling gel, went straight back, like back and forth, and then just went poof, done, and just went out there and like showed it to 30 million people. It's awful. I think I even put a caption in one of the videos, like hard into the video, like layover text, like I know the haircut's bad, just let it go. It's bad. It's just didn't know what to do with it. Now I
did it with the first time I had to deal with this last year when I was like, okay, I gotta let it grow back. I held like a contest, like let's see if anyone can guess what's going on, and the winner gets something. Go. And everyone kept saying I got hair plugs. They're like, Jay obviously got hair plugs because it does kind of look like plugs.
It does look like hair plugs. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I have just the opposite. My hair is so
that's
damn
what I was gonna say.
thick.
It's the opposite of hair plugs. You went you did this to yourself.
I did it to myself. Entirely to myself. In fact, every time I get a haircut, I have to get it like thinned out because my hair, I have like horse hair. It's like super thick.
Yeah, I like that those scissors with the thinning scissors that are all that are like choppy. Like those are cool.
Yeah, but every once in a while,
when he does it.
Someone is overzealous with them because I get like huge tufts of nonsense out here. And so they have to go through it there. And every once in a while, you get a newbie at the fucking Great Clips or wherever I go. And it just gets all spritzy. And then for like the next 3 months, there's like 50 longer hairs than everything else. You look like an asshole. You can't take scissors to it.
My attractiveness has been under assault, right? Like it first came the black barber who squared me up, and I had to grow it back, much like Jay's going through now.
Hilarious.
And then I thought, for Jay, if you don't know, that a black barbershop would be the peak of style, right? At the time, at the time it had come out
like
that
Michael Scott.
Anthony Pettis.
Scott move.
Anthony Pettis is a UFC fighter. He was champ at the time, and it came out that he got his hair cut 3 times a week. And I saw him, and I was like, maybe so. It's weird, but it's working for him. That guy's pimp. He's always kind of put together. And I'm like, I want to be put together like that. And it like black guys seem to be particularly detail oriented, like in how perfect their fade is and stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna go here where like it is where they take haircutting to like the next level to absolute excellence. And it turns out that it's not.
They usually cut like black people kinky hair and not your white bread German, Irish,
little Mexican,
straight, thick white people hair.
That guy was smirking at the other customers there as he was doing it. Like, all right, so you just want this, and you're just no talking. And then
it's funny that you said that, Woody, because when I was in high school, I went to a black barber.
All the time?
One time. No, one time. So I walked in, right? And I guess it was like the hangout spot or something. It was almost like watching Friday. It was like walking into Friday. And everyone just shut up when I walked in, and that was the weirdest thing. And I asked them like how much was a haircut, and they were like, "Oh, it's like $8 or whatever it was back in '99."
You know what they were talking about? White people.
Oh yeah, probably. But no, anyway, I waited my turn, and he starts cutting my hair, and I thought it was weird because he did the back, he squared it up, did around the ears, and he started like squaring up right here, and then started squaring up around the front, and I'm like, whoa,
no, you don't do that.
Yeah. No, it was just a little bit. It's not like he did this. You didn't go back a inch and a half.
Mine
like
did.
I did, but
Yeah, he fucked it up.
When Woody
I thought that was weird because forever, I don't know if my standards changed, but later on, I started going to like some Mexican barbers and stuff because let's face it, white people suck with clippers, and so I was like, well, aren't you going to do right here? And they're like, no, you don't want to cut the side, but. Yeah, it was exactly what you said.
I went to
it was
Mexican
like everything was meticulously, like, perfectly straight.
So the worst part about Woody's haircut is once they were done doing that to Woody, he said, "All right, son, your turn."
Dude, I'm so stupid.
You're next.
I'm not walking out of here looking like an asshole by myself.
We're gonna match. If you said that, you're like, come on, son, we're gonna match. He'd have been like,
no. So after the black barber took his run at it, then something else happened. I can't remember. And then I got shot.
Paintball thing.
I got shot in the face by the paintball. That followed that. And then after the paintball thing, I got stung.
See this knot?
Yeah.
That's still from paintball.
Really?
It won't go away.
Dude.
It can feel. There's a lump under the skin that I can feel.
I feel
it
like
looks like a zit, and I thought maybe that's what it was at first. But
it's
it's
a
just a lump.
hematoma. Yeah. I feel like the camera picks this up.
In the bathroom with it for a while.
If you
at first.
Look at that. If you see this on camera, I think it shows up better than it does in real life. But I still, there's a redness thing here that's not going away. Nice, Kyle. And I got stung by like a bee or something right on the same spot that the paintball hit.
That was hilarious. I remember that. I almost forgot. The bee stung you right there in the head.
Motherfucker. Yeah, that's part of why I lost weight. I've been in the stable doing like demo and soon construction almost every day, just out there swinging a sledgehammer and moving like rotten wood around and digging holes and shit like that. It's a lot of work, but whatever, it'll get done. So, but yeah, so my face has been under assault for some time now. There's some events I can't even remember them all. It sucks.
The paintball helped to distract from the black haircut, if anything.
So what you're telling me is I've got to come up with just something more ridiculous than my forehead goatee to take their attention off of the forehead goatee.
Yeah, we need some ideas. What if you just
comb your hair down straight?
No, I tried that before this show. It didn't work. That's why I'm like, I'm just going to say what happened, fuck it, because I can't hide it.
Mike Tyson style facial tattoo, right? Just draw it on there with a Sharpie and make no mention of it.
Oh, that would be hilarious if you draw it back in with a Sharpie.
Man. I feel like I should just glue hair to my forehead right there.
I think you should buzz it all. Not the bald, because you'd lose your progress, but like hit it all with like a number 2 or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like let this grow out a little bit more so that it all like line up, and then just hit it all at once.
Have you ever done that before? Do you know if your head is attractive or not? Have you ever?
The last time I had a buzzed head, I was like 400 pounds, so it was a pretty round head.
But the thing is, I feel like buzzed head, of all the body types and stuff, skinny white guy, worst for buzzed head. That's not what you want to be.
That's one of the reasons why I don't want to try it. I'm kind of afraid to even. It's like because there's no going back, right? At least right now, I can just kind of live with it, and then as it gets longer, then you can start to get more creative with it. Like my barber will actually blend it in as it gets longer.
I've got a lumpy head. I've got like I got a big scar that goes from like here to like there. But I've also got like, I don't know, there's a big flat spot here, and like, I don't know, there's like a protrusion like on the back of my skull that just kind of sticks out.
You got like a Jason Voorhees head or what?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Your father's got a good head of hair, so I would imagine you'll be able to keep covering that ugly.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it all. Like he's 62, I think now, something like that. And saw him today, and like I don't know, it's receded 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch, something like that. Like, but it's not like. I don't know. It's not up here or anything. It's like he's lost like that much, I'd say.
Yeah, my father's done pretty well with that too. A little more in the edges.
You have a very low hairline anyway, Kyle. Or maybe you don't. Yeah. You just swoop your hair down low, but it makes you look much younger.
Look at that. He trumps that shit. It goes all around.
Yeah.
The problem with Kyle is his face is way too proportionate.
It's almost disgusting.
Yeah. I know, right?
Sexy Kyle. Stupid sexy
what do you
Kyle.
mean, proportionate.
Well, like for instance, when I wear sunglasses, my eyebrows are completely covered up. But I see people who wear sunglasses and you can see their eyebrows. So I think like my face is all squished up down here and my forehead's all high up here. So
it's all about picking the right sunglasses.
I got a few problems. You can see this part of my eyebrow in sunglasses.
I can't pull off the agent look like you do. I just look like a pedophile or something.
No one can pull it off until he just get some self-confidence about it and be like, you know what? I'm rocking those glasses. I'm just going to
go with
I always thought that I looked like I didn't buy sunglasses until I was like a grown man because I think kids look so ridiculous with sunglasses. You see like those kids with like big Oakleys that are like oversized in their face. So I always wanted glasses that would like fit my face and look good. And like everybody always asks what I wear, but I love these. These are Ray-Bans, but like I don't know this style. I don't know what style they are, but they're like $225 and they're my favorite. And I always get the same ones over and over. This is a junk pair. I don't wear these anymore because they're all.
Well, look, I guess since. I wear the like Oakley cycling glasses now, and I guess if I can wear those and not feel too stupid, I should be able to wear anything, huh?
I have
every pair of glasses fits me like those old like 2004 red and blue 3D glasses that like have to bend out and like you fold the uncomfortable paper over your ears. It's just it bows out like you can't see on my head is gigantic. Next time we get together, we'll have a head
off.
It's
a real fucking melon.
It's quite the head. It's
like we were right on camera. It looks pretty.
We didn't forget. Don't worry.
35% of his body weight is from the chin up.
Do you have a basketball that you could hold like this, like all small, tiny next to your
looks
head?
like a tangerine.
He's a real life bobblehead ball.
I went to school with a guy, and my dad every time he saw him would make fun of how big the kid's head was, and my mom would always bring it up too. And to me, like we grew up together, so like I didn't really notice, but like. My dad was, God damn, that boy's head's big. I had to get him a special fucking helmet. Look at it. Like a bobblehead out there running around.
See, I'm the opposite. My head's small. So when I put on hats, I have to like put them on the smallest setting because I put on, it's like, went all the way down, to my eyes or whatever. So my head is probably equally as small as Mirka's is big.
Yeah, like what's your hat size? I don't know because I don't wear hats for the same reason, but it's like 8 or something. Like it's obscene. Like what's the? I don't know what a big hat size is.
Mine is 7 1/8.
7 1/8. Whoa.
Is that good?
I don't know if it's good. It's just
what
what it is.
That's what he wouldn't have been put on any trains in Germany. They would have been keeping him. Like, ooh, you go in the 7 1/8 camp.
I don't know how big my head is. It's certainly not a melon like you got over there, but I think it's about average, I guess.
When I see a fitted cap, they seem to fit. I don't know. So I
don't wear too many hats. I don't think I look good with hats on. I don't think they.
I feel like they complement sunglasses when you're actually doing sun stuff.
That's true.
It'll be like that guy that has his hat on backwards and he's like holding his hands over like this at the baseball
with the
game.
sunglasses on his head.
Yeah.
I feel like unless there's some specific reason to turn your hat around, like maybe you're driving a convertible or you're playing,
the sun's behind
you're
you.
playing
The sun's behind you
catcher.
and you're fishing or something.
Okay, but mostly you lose the right to wear a hat backwards somewhere around 20.
Mm-hmm.
It's stripped from you.
The only reason to wear it backwards is if it's required. If
you have a
otherwise it would
catcher's
blow
mask
off,
on,
or you're active, or for whatever, like sometimes if we would slap box, like where it's like boxing, but we're slapping each other in the face, then you turn your hat around backwards so I don't slap it off your fucking head, that sort of thing. But like, I don't know, I can think of one right now. A dude that's like 30 and still rocking that. It's just lame.
Yeah,
It's just lame.
don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
I want to
like you're
rock a
trying
cowboy hat. Jay was saying he feels like he can't pull off certain glasses. I've tried on cowboy hats because I just feel like it'd be the ultimate like mowing hat. You're on the tractor, it's hot out, it's sunny. I like baseball caps, but they make me hot. And the cowboy hat fits looser, and I'm like, that's what I want. But every time I put one on, I look like somebody who's pretending to be a cowboy. It's not a good hat.
Well, everybody looks like someone who's pretending to be a cowboy because it's 2015. Like,
I know some
there
people
are
that look
very few, unless you're in Montana or something.
And you got to know how to wear it too. Everybody wants to put it down around their ears. Like it doesn't come down to your ears. You ride it up here, up high, casual. It looks good then. I certainly can't pull off a cowboy hat. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe.
I can't.
But
when I wear it like that, it looks like that little potato head hat, like just barely precariously bouncing on the top. To hold it when I'm riding my horse.
Have you noticed that trend coming back though of guys who'll wear their hat backwards but like on the back of their head,
like a yarmulke?
Yeah. It's like I don't know. It's just so terrible. I know these trends have been around before and they're just going full circle, but I just want to. I'm gonna get arrested someday because I'm just gonna snap one day and I'm gonna see someone wearing like skinny jeans and a backwards hat on the back of their head. And I'm just gonna go ape shit and I'm gonna like take their hat and beat them with it.
I talked about my sense of style getting frozen. Like the sideways hat thing, I just can't get on board with it all. It always looks stupid to me. And when I see a hat designed to be worn sideways because like the thing that you read is off to the side, so the bill goes this way, but it's still centered. I'm just like, oh my God.
But do you remember how like in the 90s, the thing was to like cup your bill and make it super curved and you would like put rubber bands and leave it there like that. But now it's like you have to have the bill be super flat. I feel like no matter what, you're never. I can't be right anymore.
Super curved always looked kind of redneck to me, so I wasn't really into the ultra curve with the rubber band.
To me, the redneck was like the bend. It was like V bent, so it was like a V because they literally creased it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it can't. But it's not redneck unless it's like tattered and torn up though on the end.
Mine was often tattered and torn up. I wore a hat all the time.
Yeah,
my hair couldn't be tamed. It was kind of long, and it was damaged from the chlorine and like blonde on the end from all the salt water and surfing and stuff. And there was no getting a comb through it, so I would wear a hat.
Some of them come pre-tattered. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
They give it to a real man for 6 months and he returns it for full price.
Yeah, right.
It even smells like unmasculine.
He wears it like working on cars.
I had a friend like on my baseball team, and I was like in, I guess, 6th grade or something, and he would take his hat and like rub it on concrete to get that frayed look. And I never understood where it's like you can play baseball for the next 40 years and you would wear the same hat and it's not going to get tattered. Like, who are you trying to fool that this is a difficult, demanding sport? Well, it's difficult, but not physically demanding.
Mine would just get faded. It would get faded a lot and turn into a color that didn't come in. But that's because it got salt water on it. That would make it fade a ton.
We just randomly lost Kyle.
Yeah.
He said BRB. So, and I think I see a shadow dancing off the back of that red leather couch. So he might be back.
I'm not used to this whole. I'm not used to this whole look at the chat thing. I should probably pay more attention to over there, huh?
I would like to see Kyle swap out that red couch with the one from is it Casting Couch? Is that series?
Oh, that black. That's like a black leather couch.
Yeah, the black leather couch.
I know nothing about that, but black leather couch.
If he had that couch, people would talk about that forever.
Those are fake, right? Those are set up, not legit.
Yes.
No, Kyle.
Oh, was it really
That's
a
legal.
newspaper ad? What? I feel lied to. Like Money Talks isn't like a real thing.
Well, I think a lot of people believe that the casting couch one was real because we're all talking about the same guy, the guy who blurs his face out, the guy who's pretty well built.
Is Bang Bus not real either?
No, none of that's real.
My world is upside down.
Did Czechoslovakian women just start sucking dick if you hand money to them?
I think this is different though. Like the Bang Bus one, it's clear that they're like actors and it's silly and stuff. But in this, like he'll be recording before the woman's there and he'll be like, "This chick's hot. She's like 22 years old, white chick. She's got a kid. I don't know. Let's see what we can do here." Like he sets it up like he's legitimately like pretending to be a casting agent, fucking chicks.
I believe what's happening here is Kyle the only one that fell for it.
No, I've read the comments on these. Like there was a whole conspiracy. I did some research to figure this out. I'm part of the way that this whole thing was discovered. You see, there's one episode in particular where he's banging this blonde chick, and she's sucking his dick, and you can see her hand because she's jerking him off, and her nails are not done when he first meets her, and they're banging on the couch. But then they switch angles, and she's like on her knees. Her nails are done. So there's no way
it's just really talented.
No, she got her nails done while sucking the dick. Like, yeah. So yeah, I thought those were legit. Maybe I was the only one. Let us know in the comments down below if you have seen these famous casting couch videos. This one in particular, the one where the white guy who blurs his face, that same black couch, always banging these chicks. I thought it was legit at the first few I watched.
Kyle, I kind of feel like you might have been the only one who noticed the fingernail change.
No, I started talking to everybody else in the comments, and we all agreed that like everybody was What's
that called in the movies? A continuity error?
Continuity error, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. In porn. Who'd have thunk it?
They have a group of people who are paid to look for continuity issues, and they still get through every movie.
Yeah, I love those. The ones I know about, like in movies and stuff.
Like Harry Potter with the camera crew fully in view. Gladiator, the camera crew was in the crowd. I mean, it's like
Lord of the Rings. You can see like power cables. Casino. There's one scene where they're in a car. Like one character's in a car talking to another who's outside the car, and the Zippo is like moving around the limo constantly, like every time they cut. And it's one of those things where like they cut to this guy, then back to that guy. This guy, that guy, this guy, that guy.
Did you see Braveheart? There's like contrails in the background of some of the scenes of jets flying over.
I have seen
found
that.
The Harry Potter one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that? The cameraman's like right there.
Here.
It's during the dueling scene. I think it's Chamber of Secrets.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love movies. It's probably my favorite thing. I think my favorite. Oh wow! Right fucking there. That's a camera.
Yeah. No, look up. If you look up Gladiator, look up Gladiator camera crew. You can find some scenes of that there too. They're just like also too in the Gladiator when the carriage flips over and the tapestry flips out of the way, you can see the pressurized tank and system that was there to pop it over on its side. I mean everything is just like right in
one of my favorite continuity errors that's just so obscene and right in your face that it's ridiculous that everybody doesn't immediately say what the fuck is in Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a scene where he chases this guy called Benny down this California road, and Benny's in like I think a Porsche or something. Anyway, the car gets flipped over on its side, and Schwarzenegger walks over and barehanded rolls the car back onto all four wheels, and suddenly it doesn't have like extensive damage down the side when he drives away. He's all of a sudden in a brand new one.
Right.
I like those.
I had one. I can't remember it. I was just thinking of it. I don't know. Some of these I know, like the Lord of the Rings with the power lines and stuff, but I lost it. Sorry.
Man, my
Lord of the
back
Rings
is
has
jacked
a lot.
up.
Back jacked up, huh?
Everyone's wearing a watch.
Yeah, it really is.
So from carrying the toilets, so you
yeah, I was bending over and picking them up, and I just strained like it's my mid to upper back, like
poor
all that.
form,
like,
huh?
Yeah, it really was, and I knew it was when I was doing it. I just wanted to get it done fast. I was like, let's get these fucking toilets stacked, and so because I had to do something with paint.
That's a good trait to bring to the survival trip. The water's boiled enough.
It bubbled.
Yeah.
We're definitely taking that water filter. I think part of our sponsors package that they put out is a water filter. I think we'll have a water filtration from our sponsor that we'll get to show off.
See, I'll get that tomorrow. I was gonna do a day in the life on Saturday, and it was going to include packing some stuff. But I think Chiz told me specifically not to show the gear that came from the sponsored gear yet. Yeah, that's supposed.
I think that's just because he has his own little vision of how this all should pan out.
Exactly. He has a vision for how the sponsor stuff is going to be integrated into the videos, and he'll be on the trip, so he'll be able to make it happen.
Yeah.
But so that'll be cool.
Never mind, I'll say that later. Every now and then. See, that's a talent Wings of Redemption never had. Wings never did that once. When did Wings ever go, no, I won't say that.
I'm going to keep that card in my hand.
Between me and the group here, not the other 500,000 people.
I wonder what it is.
It's not a big deal. It's here. I'll type it to you quick, and then I'll tell everybody about our sponsor tonight.
It'd be funny if it was a Patreon benefit to let them see the chat.
They would be so disappointed.
Yeah, right. BRB had to let the dog out.
Yeah.
It would be so.
Wow, behind the scenes.
Is that like a euphemism or what?
Time for the mid-roll, right? Shouldn't Chiz be texting us? That's what he normally does.
Yeah. I don't like some of the tone of his texts and tweets where it's like, for the love of God, don't forget this. Or take a couple seconds to remember
like
this.
that.
I know he doesn't. It's just joking.
Oh.
Yeah, I like Chiz. I'm more excited to see him in the survival situation than anyone.
Oh, it's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be, guys. I think that the greatest moments of PKA, we're on the verge of them right now. It's coming next Monday. It's coming in a few days from now. When you listen to this, 2 days away. It's Saturday right now for you. We're scrambling right now. When you're watching this Saturday night, we are fucking scrambling trying to get shit together. And on Monday, we're going to start a journey that's going to be some of the cooler, most ridiculous shit that we've ever gotten into.
I'm packing on Saturday, so I'm going to load up a backpack with not that much, and who the fuck knows?
We're going to walk off into the woods with, a
underprepared,
and not come back for 5 days, and that's saying something.
And unlike the people that you normally see walking off into the woods and surviving off the land, we don't know how to do that.
Yeah. Like the people who know how to do it, they get out there and they're like, "All right, let's get started." Oh, crayfish, and like just grab it right away.
Yeah, I have to make sure that I remember to watch that YouTube video about how to gut a squirrel. Otherwise, we won't be able to eat. Like we just don't know how to do that right now.
No, there's going to be a few butchered, horrible squirrels. Someone will make their way out there a little bit later and think there's a child future serial killer on the loose.
I'm kind of embarrassed about that. I'm afraid of a potential video where Patrick's filming me and I've got like my fillet knife and a squirrel, and like by the time I'm done, I look like 12-year-old Dexter Morgan, and like you just stumbled into the garage. And I'm like, I don't know. I just had to kill. It's like just feet will be cut off, and like 1 foot I've cut just the fingers off of, and he's, why did you just cut the fingers off? All right.
Put it in a Ziploc with a couple stones.
I'm very concerned about this trip coming up.
Your time is precious, and you want to feed your mind with the best of what's out there. But who has the time to sift through all that nonsense out there on the internet? So, for those of us who want premium content and don't have time to waste finding it, there's Next Issue. Next Issue is the mobile app that lets you tap directly into the world's most popular magazines anytime, anywhere using your phone or tablet. Iconic magazines like People, Vogue, Esquire, Time, and more. And Next Issue lets you dive deeper into the story with interactive content for a richer reading experience. You can sign up for Next Issue right now. You'll get immediate access to all the top magazines, including back issues and exclusive videos and photos. They also have the best content around the topics we care the most about, such as Car and Driver, Forbes, PC World, and Rolling Stone. And with Next Issue, we can read these straight on our phones, anywhere, anytime.
It's like having a magazine subscription to all the magazines.
Absolutely. And you can start your free trial right now when you go to nextissue.com/PKA.
Yeah, that's it, and it's, I don't know, on your phone. It's fucking awesome. Like that's what you want. All the magazines on your phone every week, current, perfect.
And we're offering you a free trial. So make us look good. Go to nextissue.com/PKA. Sign up for a free trial. And I've got the list of the magazines that you can get there, and it's literally 5 pages of magazines, printed at like 13 text. So it's everything from Entertainment Weekly, Women's, Daily, Vogue, Veranda, Vegetarian Times. Wow, what is that?
Vegetarian Times.
Kids? Who knew that was a thing? Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any fun ones. Red Book, Outside, Oxygen, Men's Journal, Men's Fitness and Health, Hot Rod Magazine, Glamour, GQ. Really anything and everything you can imagine. All the most popular magazines right there on Next Issue right in your hand. Nextissue.com/PKA.
Link in the description, annotation on the side, and that's a thing. Oh, by the way, if you guys are interested in Patreon, that's a thing too. You can go to our. I'll annotate that Painkiller Already logo over there. You can check out the Patreon benefits. One of the bigger ones is Painkiller Nearly. You get the video version and you get it right away.
$10, only $10.
And
that is a bargain, I promise you. If I were a fan, I would have the $10 one because the video for PKN and getting it on time. Because sometimes we tell you things on PKN. And it's like the first time that our audience ever gets to hear a thing. So like on PKN, like they're the first ones to know about the cameraman coming on the trip, or really specific details about what's going to happen. You get all that stuff.
I'm sorry I cut you off, but PKN's a different vibe too. Like I kind of like that. I just wanted to add on to it. I didn't wait.
Well, I mean, you guys want to check it. The first time Woody came out as actually gay was on PKN.
There's a vibe like because I know like 100,000, 200,000 people will watch PKA, but in my head there's only a couple hundred watching PKN, and in my world that's like an intimate group where I can say things and I know it's all just us girls, and it's
you can get a little risque, it's
a different vibe. PKA is fun.
But with the sponsor, I want you guys, someone out there, read Vegetarian Times and send us the funniest articles on there. Like the best. What's it going to be? Like third month of being a vegetarian, still weak and sad. Like, I'm always hungry and my bones hurt.
I wonder sometimes if I would feel the same. If I knew that all those animals had like all right, so for example, dolphins, I feel like dolphins have like family groups, and they recognize like lost members years later when they're reunited, and they seem to have real emotions like fear and love and compassion. You see them rescuing each other, working in teams, and like I feel like those are so close to us that I wouldn't dare hurt one. Like I feel like it's tantamount to murder. They're just too close to us. But like chickens, those chickens are roaches. I couldn't care less. And like a pig, like especially the ones that we eat, like the ones that actually all the pigs. There aren't any pigs there's little pot-belly pigs. I guess they're kind of cute, and I've seen people train them, and they seem to be as smart as dogs.
They seem dog-like.
Yeah. People tell me they're smarter than dogs. They talk about equating them to like a 3-year-old child. I've heard deer intelligence equated to a 4-year-old child. They say that deer walk carefully in the woods in certain situations so they won't hurt the plants. Like
how would they possibly know that?
Right?
Maybe it's because of the bobcat around the corner. Fucking Loudfoot Steve made the mistake last week to not walk quietly.
And they eat plants too. Are they that pro veggie?
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but Josh, settle down. This grass needs to regrow.
But I've shot a lot of those things, and I've been up close and personal with them, and like seen the life drain out of their eyes, and there's a little bit something more than there is with that chicken. That chicken just seems like a shell, a husk that holds meat to me. The deer is another level up. He's not a dolphin yet, for sure, because, I mean, I'm not filled with dread with the memories of the, 80 or 90 fucking deer I've killed. Like, I don't want to shoot any more because I do feel sorry for them, but, like, I don't feel like they're up at the dolphin level, but they're somewhere in between. I kind of feel bad for them. They just don't taste that good. If they tasted as good as pork chops, it'd be different.
You don't think that venison is good?
It's kind of gamey. It's not superior to any meats, and it's inferior to most. Like I feel like it's like it's one of those meats where like, oh yeah, if you prepare it just right and you have the right cut, then it's beef. It's like, well, or they'll say, yeah, it makes really good hamburgers, but add some pork fat to it. And it's just like, well, what the fuck? Like I don't want to have to add
for a hamburger. That'd be gross.
Yeah,
it's too what for hamburger?
Lean.
Too lean, not enough fat in it.
It'll fall apart. It won't stick together in a patty and cook. Fat is what makes hamburgers good.
I've never had venison ever, and people say it's gamey, but I don't really know what gamey means. Like I've never eaten anything gamey.
The taste is a little odd. Most of our meats taste like beef to me tastes salty, and like I don't know, that savory, bloody taste that meat has is kind of smooth and it has a salty base, but gamey venison has more of a twang to it, almost like a little bit of a sweet. And I don't know how to describe it really. You just have to.
Twang and sweet sounds awesome.
It's good. Like it's definitely different than like a traditional steak.
I can't say you're wrong, given that I've never eaten it, but I can say you're in the minority of the people I've talked to. Like most people either seem like they're kidding themselves, like chicken. I don't think chicken tastes particularly good. I never look forward to a chicken meal and be like, oh yeah,
chicken's good because of how it's prepared or what's
exactly. You can wrap enough shit around chicken, then all of a sudden it's like chicken with pico de gallo and fucking sparklers and those cartwheel pinwheels I'm talking about.
You put it in pasta, you cover it in sauce, you deep fry it, and then you dip it in a sauce, and then you eat chicken. Chicken is just.
Chicken is tofu.
Chicken is tasteless. It's kind of bland. Yeah.
It's
really about the consistency than the flavor. Beef, on the other hand, has a flavor. Pork, like think about what like ham cold cuts. Like you know what ham tastes like. It's very distinctive. Mm-hmm. And deer is just another flavor. It's just different.
My wife is getting really good at cooking. Like especially since we moved to this house. She could cook before, but since we got her in this new kitchen, suddenly it's like a thing that she likes doing. And
I got the tools, I got the talent.
Perfect.
Got that nice kitchen now.
And we really do have a nice kitchen. Like it's pretty pimp, I think. And and she seems to like it a lot. And she's like, sometimes she'll just
fucking Iron Chef in there.
She's like, yeah, in Glee, she's like, I love having a place for everything, right? Because like every pot, every pan, everything, it has a spot for it, and it's not all stacked up like Cat in the Hat. And she cooks well. And when I was young and I would hear someone say like that they wanted a wife who could cook, I thought that was stupid. Like that's just one of the least important things to me in the world. Like I need a wife who's good at sucking dick, right? Fuck cooking. And but you age a little bit and you're like, you know what? Your whole life is better when you get a woman who likes cooking. It's a step up.
I'll agree with that. I remember your wife made this delicious breakfast casserole one morning that was really cool. I don't remember what. Oh, we went out. I think we like got takeout for dinner one night. I don't know if she cooked dinner, but I do remember breakfast.
Next time you come over, we'll have her do a thing or two. Like it just, I don't know. You mentioned pork, and it was like I'm hungry tonight. Maybe that's why I'm losing weight, because I'm fucking hungry all the time. Jay, are you hungry all the time? Do you exist in a life of hunger?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
No, I mean I eat a lot less, but I eat more often. But that's how like we're supposed to eat though. Like,
what's your favorite meal if you don't give a fuck? If it's your last meal, let's say, like you don't care how many calories, you don't care about butter on top of butter.
I'm
what's
talking
your go-to?
I am talking like a thick breaded Parmesan chicken doused in mozzarella and marinara and pasta. I like Italian.
Yeah.
So like that would just be like
it's like a chicken parm.
Yeah, but I'm talking like true authentic chicken parm, not like you go into some Italian restaurant here, just some chain.
Yeah, I want that chicken fucking hammered out thin and fried just right. I want it delicious. Yeah.
Yep.
Steak and potatoes
crispy
for me. And I want a baked potato.
Italian is my.
I want a baked potato so filled with butter that if you dare pick it up, it drips everywhere.
If you dare pick it up. Say it sensually.
I'm hungry right. Here's what I want for. All right, I'll wait.
I know the exact meal. So it's a meal that I've gotten a lot of times. I think it's maybe a little low class. I think it's like. I think that a high class person would think that it's low class, but everyone else would think it's pretty. At Morton's, I like to get I know what I get every time. The whole, like, every course is the same every time. I want the same thing every time. I want a Coke to drink, first of all, because they keep pouring them out of those glass bottles into my glass, and I love that. I love that bread they've got. But also, I want the bone-in
the ribeye.
Ribeye. And if they do some sort of, like, fancy Cajun seasoning that week or whatever, if the chef's got a specialty, I'll do that. But basically, I want a big fucking delicious steak, medium rare, loaded baked potato, and you usually get, like, sides for the table there. You get, like, the big ones. So, like, I don't know. I like their cheesy potatoes. The potatoes are gratin. But the dessert is the chocolate souffle. It takes 45 fucking minutes to make, and I like that. And I like to get the cold seafood platter. It's like $75 worth of seafood for the table, but it's like crab meat, lobster, shrimp, 6 raw oysters, and a couple other little things all on ice in this multi-tiered tray. And I can eat the whole tray by myself, and I have before.
I'm sure Kyle doesn't live like this every day, but if you go on like a vacation or a PKA adventure with Kyle, it's cost no object food. It's just like, we need to go.
There's no reason to slow down on the food.
That's what he did. Jay, here's what I want to know. Let's say you're hungry and you shouldn't be eating. You've already had dinner, like me right now, but you're looking for, like, you just not go until tomorrow without eating. What do you eat?
I'll just eat, like, I always have chicken breast in the house. I'll just eat chicken breast. So that's not going to hurt me.
What do you do to the chicken breast?
Usually it's just grilled or like lemon or something like that.
So you take like boneless, skinless chicken breast. How do you like put it in like a George Foreman or in a pan or?
Usually it's already cooked. My wife is really good at meal prepping.
Oh, that's super helpful, I bet.
Yeah, so it'll already be in like Tupperware or something like that. So I'll just take it out, stick it in the microwave, and have some like quinoa or something with it.
How can you stomach the quinoa?
I love quinoa. Quinoa replaces rice. It replaces
Nobody likes
rice
quinoa. People are going to admit in 5 years when the fad passes that quinoa is weird and it's a shit tier
I had
rice.
never even heard of quinoa until the wife one day was like, here's dinner. I'm like, what the hell are those little dot things? And she's like, it's quinoa. Like, is it rice? She's like, no, it's
it was
different.
surplus bird food at PetSmart, and they sold it to a Whole Foods. And everyone's been fooled.
So what do you mix with your quinoa? Like, do you put any kind of like a sauce in it, or it's just plain, or like do you put anything on it?
I mixed my tears with it.
Yeah, right.
No, I just like the taste. My wife, I don't even know how I couldn't even tell you how she prepares it. I really don't. But usually she'll give me there's other vegetables and stuff on the plate, so I'll just kind of like mix it all together.
You can mix yogurt and an avocado and make sort of a bootleg guacamole and mix that with the quinoa, and it's really good.
I hate avocado and guacamole.
I think that Merc is right. Quinoa is just shit tier rice. That's
Did you know that
what it is.
Yeah. Get some brown rice and enjoy it.
Avocado means testicle, and guacamole is translated as literally testicle sauce.
Oh, there's a lot of people out there who love testicle sauce.
Yeah, you Google it, old man. Put your glasses on.
No, Woody, we didn't get your last meal. It wouldn't be steak and potatoes. That's too boring.
That's kind of what mine is.
Oh, that's what it would be. You know what? I take it back. 2 steaks, 2 potatoes. Let's do this shit right.
Yeah. 2 steaks, 2 potatoes. I just want a big bowl of almond quinoa. Don't want to be a big mess for the coroner. Like,
no, I'm not even kidding. Maybe I just naturally like it. But the moment I tried it for the first time, I really, really liked it. And like my favorite vegetable, my wife makes is a really nice roasted Brussels sprout.
I could deal with that. Brussels sprouts could be okay sometimes.
It checks out. Yeah. Avocado means testicle.
She steams the Brussels sprouts first, and then she puts them on the pan and like glazes them with I don't know what, and then she roasts it. So it's really good. My wife, honestly, I have to give my wife the credit for the healthy eating because of running a YouTube channel as my daytime job, it takes up so much time. If it wasn't for her and the meal plans and the meal prepping, then I probably wouldn't have been nearly as successful because she went to New York for 2 weeks to visit family back east and left me and my 6-year-old here. In the time that she was gone, I gained 10 pounds and lost it again because we weren't eating out or anything. It's just the meals weren't balanced. And I think I was gaining like water weight. And so I stepped on the scale about halfway through her trip and I'm like, oh crap, she's going to come home and be like, you got fat while I was gone. So I just like bumped up the cycling and then started like YouTubing how to make like basic healthy meals. So she came back and was like, "How'd you guys do?" I'm like, "Oh, great, no problem whatsoever." But really, I started getting fat and lost it again.
Dude, being a full-time YouTuber, you mentioned about how time-consuming it is. It's a funny thing, right? Like, I feel like everyone on YouTube is like, whoa, this job is a lot harder than it looks. It only looks like I work 2 minutes a day making my 2-minute video and this and that. But then you're like, oh, well, would you trade it for, like, nurse? Oh, no.
Yeah. But I think it's different,
well,
though.
it's not as hard as a real job.
But, when you're doing product reviews, though, there's so much correspondence and so much prep work and micromanaging of my time. Like, my house looks like a warehouse. It does. I envy, like, the vloggers with millions of subs. Like, oh, here's my life. We're just out here having fun. Hey, whatever. We're getting paid. And I'm over here, like, having to, do invoices and spreadsheets and pops and, performance reports. And it's like, God damn, I need to hire somebody to do this for me because... Granted, I know how to do it, and I used to do it for my daytime job. It's just that takes up most of the time. The video creation part, that's not hard.
When I was doing YouTube gaming all the time, I envied the Let's Play guys. Like, because I would scour for topics, and my videos were typically commentaries, like my personal thoughts about a thing over gameplay, and. I'm like, looking. I remember I did one on Google's ISP strategy. I did Mail Monday, of course. I did, I don't know, all kinds of things. I just talk about something I thought was relevant and timely and share my opinion and wisdom or whatever I had to say about it. But then you get these Let's Play guys. Now, I would have to play for, 30 minutes to an hour to get a gameplay. Like, I would say every hour I got, like, a usable game, maybe quicker. And, so it's like, all right, I play for an hour and I do all this research and I put it together and do my thing. Then you have Let's Players. If they play for an hour, they get 6 videos out of it. There's 10-minute intervals. They upload them all. And
they'll cut it at, like, right at a climactic moment. Like, oh, God, see what happens in part 2 with this Let's Play. And they have some silly end slate. But, no, I like the hardware side of things, especially for PC building and stuff. I mean, my computer is probably more popular than I am. But the like graphics cards and stuff. I mean, if I just show you, even just like right there, that's a where the hell is it? That's just a pile of graphics cards and things right there. I've got to do just this weekend, and I do 2 things with those reviews. I'll do like the base performance where I go through all the suite of games that I use for the benchmarks and do all the metrics like. How was the temperatures? How was the performance? All the FPS for all the different resolutions: 1080, 1440p, 4K. Is the card good for 4K? Okay, let's overclock it now. Let's go through and do all that again. But when you overclock it, sometimes you'll get halfway through your suite of benchmarks, and then something will crash. And then if it crashes again, it's like, oh crap! I got to back it off and start all over. So, like today, I emailed you earlier and said, hey, I canceled my podcast. I'm ready whenever. But I went on my bike ride this morning at 6:30, got back here at the house and was washed up and done by about 10:30, and then started benchmarking at 11. And I benchmarked for this one video I'm doing all the way up to the point to where you sent me the call for tonight's show. And when we're done, I've got to go back to it because I'm not done. And that's just one video card, one review, and they're stacked up. I'm a month behind easily on product reviews, and so you get a little bit. I don't want to say burnt out. I still love it, or I wouldn't have quit my IT job for this. But it's one of those things where I'm not as excited when something new comes. It's like, awesome, a new video card. All right, there goes 15 hours total time right there, and it's like, where the hell am I going to find 15 hours to fit this in? Because it's usually, hey, this thing is launching next week. Can you have it up prior to launch? And that's the part that's hard. Not doing the videos. I love the videos and the interaction with the crowd. I just wish I could do more of that and less of the back end stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like high effort videos, all of them. Nothing is just a vlog.
I empathize. I made very high effort, high quality videos.
He didn't.
I would never upload the same gameplay twice.
If only I could just I could just have a channel where I took shit tons of Tenorite and blew shit up for a living, then you'd have it made.
Those are a lot of effort too.
Then you gotta lug those fucking toilets around.
He's in pain right now.
I want to drive a tank through a drive-through. I'm just saying, and get
That's the same tank that guy, the jelly bean guy, killed the guy with the other day. It was also an M5.
What?
Jelly? Oh, I thought you meant the same exact tank. that you drove it before he killed someone with
I didn't confirm that, but I know who to call to find out. I wish I had, because that would make this story funnier. It's likely that it's the same tank I drove that just killed that man on the internet. So I guess there was this family get together at, I think he's the CEO of the Jelly Belly Jelly Bean Company. And I think he's like the owner as well. Like he owns most of the company. And anyway, I think he was driving his tank, and his buddy was on the front, and a person was on the front, fell off, and basically went under the tread and got crushed.
Oops.
Yeah, smushed him real good. So yeah.
Is there a video of it?
No video of that, no. But if you want to see me crushing a Jeep with that tank and and taking it through a drive-through, you could.
What would a good
somewhere.
search string be on YouTube for a video like that?
FPSRussia goes to White House Castle in a tank, something like that.
Or just tank? Yeah.
Tank will do it.
It'll
If you
come
search
up.
tank on YouTube, you'll find it. Yeah.
You see that natural segue, Woody? You see that? like Kyle needs the views right now. Actually, if you want to know how to build computers, you just come my way. That's what you do.
There you
I
go.
do
We all
need to
know,
know
we
how
all
to
know
build a
computers
computer.
are cooler than tanks going through White Castle.
I'm seeing that stack of graphics cards, and I'm thinking, me and you need to talk later. Maybe some of those need to be shifted over my way. Like what do you do with all those extras?
If
Sell
I've
them?
done some giveaways. No, I don't really sell them. I mean, I don't have to. I
should.
can if I want to, but usually, if something new comes out later on, I'll go back and revisit that piece of hardware so I can benchmark this new game or whatever. Because I have a matrix and a spreadsheet of all these graphics cards. I have 29 of them right now in this office.
Yeah, I'd be selling those. If I were you, like part of my income, like the encompassing everything would be the sale of things. Like at the end of that video, I'd be like, and if you want a used one of any of these cards, they're all for sale at my blank. Go to blankblankblank.com, and there it is. So
Maybe
you can
they'll
buy
pay
this.
a premium to get your copy.
Yeah, sign it.
No,
Yeah,
I've done that before. Like when I've torn down my computer, because I mean that's my system right there, and I'll tear down some of the, I'll upgrade it or something, and it's like, oh, if you want to own one of the graphics cards out of this thing, I've had people pay not only a premium but well above what the card's actually worth, and then demand that I silver pen sign the back of it, and then they don't even use the card. One guy he bought the card, and then he put it in like a shadow box. And I'm like, that's just crazy. I mean, come on. I do a tech channel. Nobody cares about us tech YouTubers, but he's shadowboxing the graphics card, so that's kind of neat.
I need a new PC. Fallout 4 is about to come out. This one's 4 years old, I think. I think it's got two 580s in it or something like that.
I have a 580 up there on that shelf of graphics cards, as you can see right there. I think
I'm not even going to show you guys all my graphics cards.
But
So he's about to ask for advice.
Not really advice. I'm just trying to explaining that I need a new PC. I want to. I don't know. I got a 4K monitor that I'm looking at right now that's currently set to 1080p for a reason. I'd like to have
you're on some
setup.
ancient hardware there, Kyle.
Yeah. It's 4 or 5 years old, something like that. I got it for free though. That was nice. Oh no, that's right. They made me pay, those anti-gun cocksuckers.
They did?
So that was so originally they were gonna give me $10,000 worth of free PCs to incorporate them in a video in some way, and it went all the way through their marketing department. Everything was signed up. They agreed. We met them in person in LA. We had lunch, and then it turned out that the owner, who really didn't have much to do with day-to-day operations or he wasn't didn't know about all this, was super anti-gun and immediately pulled the plug on the whole thing, just based on that. So to make it up, they gave me the builds that I wanted at cost, I think. But even then, Kitty was like, "Is it cost? You can't get it any cheaper." And I was like, "Fuck those anti-gun bastards! I'll buy it full price." She's like, "I'm printing it anyway. I'll pay for it." And I was like, "Don't you pay it for it! Don't you do that!" And then she did it anyway. And the PC sat downstairs, and I refused to use it for 9 months.
It's kind of funny. Last year, it was last year. I had a buddy who runs a gun store out here, and he was like, "Hey, we just built a PC, so why don't we teach you how to build an AR?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool," because I didn't know how to build an AR. So we did a collab video where we built the AR, and it was a really cool video. And then we went out to the desert and we were shooting it. And it's funny how some people just freaked out. Like they started emailing my sponsors, like, "Did you know that Jay like supports terrorism and school shootings?" And they were sending some really crazy stuff. And all my sponsors like sent the email, like forwarded it to me, and were like, "Ha, look at this crazy asshole!" Like they were making fun of the guy sending the messages. But it's just funny how they went after my livelihood because of their view on the guns. But
what kind of build did you do? Like did you start with components, or did you like build did you start with an 80% lower and like where?
No,
did,
it was a strip lower. God, I'll be honest. I'm so.
You just started with the components basically and put it together.
It was all components, yeah. And then he bought like something. I don't even know the brand names. That's how bad I am. But
okay, I won't go into it. I mean.
I wish I could tell you the specs, but I really don't know. I just know it shoots really nice, and with the EOTech, I know whatever I put the dot on dies, and I'm okay with that.
Did you keep the gun? Do you still have it?
It wasn't a sponsored video. I paid for all the parts.
Oh, okay.
But all I know is we have the aluminum reinforced polymer lower. I remember which brand that is, but it shoots nice. I'm happy with it. I don't go shooting an all lot.
I have something similar. I've got. Grab it. It's right here. There's a pile of them.
A picture of it, actually. A pile of yours. Which AR is he going to grab today? His Monday AR?
It's his Tuesday or Thursday AR.
Whatever day it is. No, he's got so many. He can use Mondays and Thursdays on Thursday.
Yeah, let's see.
So now he's making me want to go.
Have we seen this one before, Kyle?
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, I made a video. This is the
very
holding. Yeah, it's like 6 pounds or something. I don't recall exactly. This is the holding. What is this called? This is a carbon fiber AR.
That'll kill a squirrel.
So like the whole 4 ends carbon fiber. It's actual carbon fiber. It's not like a wrap or anything. It like weighs enough.
You need to go hunting with that just to shut up all the people who say you don't hunt with that.
I'd love to.
Every politician lately. I hunt with this.
If I go pig hunting, it might just be this. It's got a Geisley trigger in it. It's a competition trigger. I can shoot this thing so goddamn fast. It's got this bad lever here, and basically what does.
I did a bad lever on mine.
Is so like normally when I want to drop the bolt, let's say I put my magazine in. I don't have a mag handy. Put my magazine in and I want to drop the bolt. Normally I have to come over here with my left hand and hit a release over here, but here I've got it right here.
I dropped a link to mine in the chat. I don't have the Spitfire sight on there anymore. It's a Neotech now. But yeah, I dropped a link in there. So it's that Omni hybrid lower.
Let's see.
But it's the reinforced one because I guess they had one before, like
cool.
first. It's like a first gen that didn't have the reinforced buffer tube, and so they were breaking. But this one, like the whole rear is actually aluminum and then just polyed over the aluminum.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I like your rifle. The only thing I would possibly change is a different muzzle brake. Because I think it's standard birdcage.
It's standard, yeah. We didn't get around to it yet. I actually haven't shot it in quite a few months because it's just been too hot to go to the desert.
This one's really cool.
That one's cool.
This thing has like zero recoil. It really doesn't. I almost want to shamelessly like watch the segment of me like rapid firing this thing because it shows that like it's just and the back the stock is carbon fiber too. This is a carbon fiber tube with a butt plate and the buffer spring and all that's in here.
I like that style.
Yeah, it's different. It's kind of it's not what everybody would want. Most people want a collapsible stock,
right?
And most people want to be able to put their gadgets out here. But I like it. It's kind of minimalistic. It's got backup iron sights, but mostly it's just got the little reflex sight. I like this gun.
How much is that worth? How much does that gun cost as you have it in your hands?
Like $2,800, I think.
Yeah. See, the budget I had on mine with sight was I wanted to stay under like $1,600. So I think all the parts came to, and they gave me kind of like costs on a lot of these parts. So I got the whole rifle for about $1,100 with all the parts, and then the EOTech brought it up to like right where my budget was. But it's for an entry level budget on an AR, it actually shoots really, really nice. I'm happy with it.
Totally. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper to put your rifle together yourself anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like an MMP Sport, isn't going to shoot anything like this does, and not to mention this has more upgrades. And what is it? The MMP Sport doesn't have a forward assist, I think, and it also doesn't have a dust cover.
No dust cover, huh?
Yeah, that was the two things I didn't like about the MMP Sport. It didn't have the forward assist or a dust cover.
That's a nice rifle. I like AR-15s.
That means a lot coming from you, man. I think you'd be like, a piece of shit. I could pull ARs out of my anus.
I've got a bunch of them, but they all do the same shit. Everybody's got their own fancy one. To impress me, you got to do something kind of cool to your AR. I like when people really. I like SBRs. I like when they've got like a super short barrel and they're suppressed and they're integrally suppressed.
But
and
I can't do a super short barrel. I want to, but I can't. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I haven't. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I haven't changed the muzzle brake. Is because the muzzle brake keeps me at the legal length right now, and some of the muzzle brakes I was looking at were a little bit shorter than that one.
So you can't do SBRs there without what? What's required there?
16-inch barrel.
No. I mean, what would you have to do to acquire yourself an SBR? Because I know Richard. I was talking to Richard Ryan the other day. And, he's got a dangerous weapons permit and a few other things, but I know he can have SBRs. I mean, he's got drones that drop bombs on people, literally.
I honestly wouldn't even know. I know I can't even buy this stuff here.
To talk to Kyle about guns, he is both like I don't know. He's positive about every gun almost, and it's like he's not a snob about it, but
that's
he's
how
also,
I try to go about the PCs.
Been there, done that on everything. Everything is just an ordinary gun to him. Everything is fine.
I get it. I get it. I really do. I mean, it's just like, I am to PCs kind of like Kyle is to guns, where I'm an enthusiast of the PC, not just like I'm an enthusiast of this PC and this hardware. So people will send me their pictures and be like, hey, it's not as good as yours, but it's like, no, that's an awesome PC. It's yours. Enjoy it, Yeah,
it's just different configuration. You're getting the same place in the end. It doesn't matter how you do it. Like, this gun is super light. But it also has very low recoil. Those are two things that mean a lot to me. I can shoot this thing so fucking fast, it's almost fully automatic with my trigger finger. It's good for that. But then I got like 3 ARs in that room over there. They're just junk ARs. One of them is my slide fire AR. One of them's my carry handle AR. There's a 300 Blackout AR. I have different tools for different things.
My actual favorite weapon that I own, and I'll drop a link in here. It's not a very close-up picture, but you'll see it up on the top there. It's an old 38 Special. That 38 Special was actually given to me by my mom, and that's a 1968 FBI issued 38 Special.
Yeah, that's
original wood. You probably couldn't hit the broadside of a barn 10 feet away with it. That barrel's so shot out, but it's just one of those things where it's original wood and it still has all its like patina.
I'd
and
love
everything.
to pistol whip somebody with that.
Exactly right, just like an old 1970s movie.
Like that episode of Sopranos when Coco said that nasty thing to Meadow, Tony's daughter, and he walks into Tony's restaurant with that 38, and the first thing he does is knock all his fucking teeth out. Yeah, it was great.
It's about the size of brass knuckles. I mean, hey.
Yeah, just hold it like that.
Yeah.
Violence talk.
Here's what popped in my mind. I just watched an episode of Scrubs tonight where apparently is JD, is he the skinny white guy? Yeah, JD and Turk. So JD goes down there. Turk, for some reason, goes down the water slide and his pants come off. And Turk is like, the lifeguard said I could go. And he's like, did the lifeguard say you could take your pants off? Feel like I got pistol whipped. And I was like, oh, that's funny. It took me a second. Somehow that popped into my head.
I like Scrubs a lot. Zach Braff's, whatever happened with him crowdfunding that movie? Did they ever make that movie?
Yeah, it was like Jersey 2 or something.
Yeah,
like that, right?
Like, exactly. Yeah.
I tried a few episodes of Scrubs. I just couldn't get into it.
When did you start? Like from season 1 and
Garden State?
It was years ago that I tried watching it. I think
the later episodes,
one of the middle seasons.
Well, the later episodes get kind of bad because they lose main characters. But I don't know if I were gonna watch it, like find the episodes that have Brendan Fraser in it. I feel like those are
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, yeah. I won't spoil it, but like it's a good episode. Those are good episodes. Yeah.
You can spoil it. I'm not going to watch it.
He's got cancer and he's dying, and you don't find out till halfway through. And it's kind of emotional with actual good acting within a silly comedy. So it's like,
what show is this?
Yeah, they can act. Scrubs. Dr. Cox's brother is, I think it's either his brother or his friend is played by Brendan Fraser, who has like leukemia, cancer, something like that, and he's dying. And he tells JD, but Dr. Cox doesn't know. And then they had this little like 3-way triangle of like kind of friendship where like they're sharing this guy. Like Dr. Cox can't accept that his friend is dying. He's angry about it, and like he's trying to deal with it. And it's an emotional episode. It's good.
That guy's a very good actor.
Brendan Fraser or Dr. Cox?
Dr. Cox.
Agreed.
I forget his name, but
What else is he in?
I just know him from Scrubs, but like Kyle said, he shows a lot of range. You know, like the way that he like commits to a joke, and it just become like, even if it's not an instant hit, like he commits to it in such a way that he turns you around. You're like, actually, like he wins you over, and then he can do the emotional stuff. Like with the cancer episode.
I've seen him in films, but I'm having a hard time.
Me too.
naming
Oh, you know me. Basically, the Zach Braff movie you were asking about was called "Wish I Was Here," and it looks like he made it. And they're calling it Garden State 2, and that's as much as I know.
Okay.
They're calling it Garden State 2. Is that an insult, or is that like the name of the movie now? Garden State 2. I never saw the first one. I just don't know.
Practically speaking, that's what it is, but I think they're going with a different title.
It wasn't meant to be an insult. They're calling it a follow-up to Garden State, so they're just, I think they're just explaining what the movie is. So,
yeah, I haven't seen it. I want to see what these crowd-funded movies turn out to be, you know what I mean? Like, because there's a Super Trooper one. I don't know when that's going to happen, but they had their big crowdfunding push for Super Troopers 2, and it's going to happen. I know they didn't get as much as they wanted, like their peak goals, and some of those peak goals involved getting the character who plays, the chief, like the old guy who was like, "Give me the goddamn soap," and he like bites it or whatever. That old guy. I feel like he's really funny, and he kind of tied that cast together. So it sucks if they don't have him. And I think another one of the goals involved them getting a real bear for some sort of bear fucking scene with a real bear. You bear fucker! like I thought there was going to be some of that, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see how the crowd-funded movie is going to work out.
I have a PC question for Jay. So the new Skylake processors came out, and they're all 4-core. Are the hex and octa-core versions coming?
I don't think you would see any Skylake E type stuff till maybe next year. Like the enthusiast stuff which would be like the 6 and 8 core you asked about, would be on a whole different platform, and usually they're like a year behind the mainstream stuff.
See, I don't remember this happening in previous processors. I'm not an expert like you, but I just kind of remembered like when the 5000 series stuff dropped, didn't the octa and octa-cores and hex cores drop, right?
No, X99 there is no 5000 series mainstream. It went from 4790K to 6700K, which is Skylake. So there's no 5000. The 5000 series right now is X99, which is 5820K, 5930, and 5960X. So those are all 6-core, 12-thread, or 8-core, 16-thread CPUs. But usually they kind of alternate. Intel's kind of on an every year release cycle right now, but it's kind of been shitty for the last 3 years. Intel hasn't really made any major pushes for anything. The 5960X, which is their extreme processor, which I'm running on that machine right there, was the main processor that dropped for X99, and that was the first update for that platform. The 6-core and 8-core platform. Well, they never had an 8-core, so let's say the 6-core platform was their first update in 4 years. They ran that X79 platform from 2011 to 2014.
So here's the problem I'm trying to solve. Sometimes I want to use OBS and live stream and record at the same time. It appears that's asking it to encode twice, at once, and I run short on CPU. So if you wanted a lot of CPU, so you could game and encode twice at once, where would you be? Xeon something or other?
You could. I have Jerry Barnaglys. He's running a system right now that has dual Xeons in it, so he's got 2 CPUs. My 5960X, which is a single 8-core, 16-thread CPU, overclocked, is beating his dual Xeon system in many, many tasks, including gaming and live streaming and encoding, because a lot of the stuff that you're going to be using isn't really designed or programmed to take advantage of things like Xeons and dual Xeon systems or whatnot. So a Xeon itself, like core for core, is going to be about the same as the 5960X. In fact, the 5960X is kind of like a shaved down Xeon, at least their first engineering samples were. But the overclocking of it really pushes it ahead in a lot of the applications you'll be using it in, with the gaming and the encoding. Depending on what you're playing, though, there's a program I've used in the past when I used to live stream a lot and did live encoding live streaming and gaming, and I didn't notice any frame drops either in the encoding or while gaming, using a program called DxTory. And what that does is it offloads the encoding onto the GPU instead of the CPU. Because the CPU is usually going to be...
do that too.
Yeah, but I've noticed that DxTory does a better job of it.
Okay.
And then OBS will just pull in DxTory like a camera. It'll think it's a camera.
I've done that.
Yeah.
But
So, it really depends. But a lot of the newer games, though, they're not working right with programs like DxTory. It's one of the reasons I stopped. Like the hook, like the DX11 and definitely DX12 hooks are not working with those captures.
That's actually why I stopped doing DxTory too. It just wasn't working. If I remember right, it would stop. Like when I tried to record, it would only last like 1 second or 3 seconds, and just so straight up OBS.
Or sometimes you would even get just terrible frame drops, even with the DxTory encoder, which is usually very efficient. You would get lots of frame drops and stutters in the playback. So
I've had that too, actually. Now that you mention it,
yeah. No, it's still probably one of the best and smoothest ways you can do it is to have a dual system, a streaming system and a gaming system, and you capture it all on the stream system and have your mic hooked up over there. Because that's such a pain in the ass is why I don't really do any games anymore online. Any streaming, I should say. Yeah. There's ways around it, but if you wanted a single system to do all of it, then yeah, definitely the more horsepower, the better. But the CPU is always going to delegate the priority to the streaming software because that's a live encoding. So sometimes people think getting like massive GPU power and stuff is going to fix the dropped frames in streaming, but that has nothing to do with the graphics card.
yeah.
That's just prioritization.
So 5960X, you think? Is there anything great coming around the corner that I should wait 3 months or?
Based on the history, like I don't know anything coming down the pipeline from Intel. If I did, I'd probably upgrade this thing already, but they usually wait like 2 years before they even bring out new enthusiast platform stuff.
So now it's fine.
Yeah, if people who ask me right now, hey, should I wait or should I build? I tell them, go ahead and build now. There's nothing new coming. All the new GPUs are out, all the new CPUs out, all the new motherboards are out. So if you build now, you're pretty safe.
And last thing, like you talked about your 5960X keeping up with Barnacules' system because it was overclocked, but I don't really have any intention of building the kind of water cooling system that I saw when you pointed your camera at it.
You don't have to. That's just enthusiast grade there. I mean, it's because I'm a water cooling enthusiast, but the stuff now is so efficient and runs so much cooler than it used to back in the day when water cooling was necessary that you can get away with just like an all-in-one water cooling unit or even like a big air cooler like a Noctua and be just fine and still overclock.
Okay. Well, some people probably love that segment, and some would hate it. I think Merca's.
I didn't understand most of it.
I've
got a water cooler.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the advice. I'm thinking of putting together a new system soon.
Yeah, and Merca, would you believe that there are millions of people out there who get off on that stuff?
Millions.
Millions. Well, look at Linus Tech Tips. He's about to hit 2 million.
I can believe that.
He's upped his production quality too.
He's got a
orange
full
backdrop.
On,
He's got a what
well,
now?
He's got a full-on production crew.
Yeah.
He's got his whole media group, 10 employees.
I think he moved out of that house too.
Yeah, he's in a new. He was up in Seattle this weekend with us on at this blogger fair, but he moved into a full-on commercial.
He should have. Dude, it was hilarious. Like he did a tour of his place, which I thought was really interesting. And he's like, here's my network switch. It's sitting in the sink right now. Yeah. He's like, and here's the RAID away where I do all my storage. It's in the bathtub. We turned the water off. So yeah.
He had to move though. I mean, it was like commercial violation because he was running a business with so many employees out of a residential space. It kind of had to move.
That's it.
But the business grew so fast, like faster than he anticipated. It was kind of like, growing pains. He was forced to move out of there very quickly.
And I wonder where his revenue streams are coming from and stuff. Like 10 people is a lot to employ. Yeah. Like a lot of YouTube channels that are successful. If you drop 10 employees on it. Yep. Suddenly they'd be breaking even, if that. Who knows?
Well, I mean, I know a lot of the tech YouTubers. Once you break into a certain size, we all have the same type of revenue streams. In fact, we all have pretty much like the exact same revenue streams, but it can be as diversified as 8 different streams. So like the YouTube income is
once. Like
at once, yeah. Like right now, the YouTube is not my main source of income. Like the actual AdSense stuff.
Yeah, there's something else coming in elsewhere, and
yeah, we it's advertising space. We advertise on the videos. Obviously, they're integrated, and we try and have fun with it. Like a lot of my ads now are being skit based, like comedy skit based. Where I'm telling you right now, when we started, when my buddy and I switched over to doing comedy type stuff, I started seeing comments like, "I hit liked for the ad." How often do you hear that on a YouTube video? They're like, "LOL, that was hilarious. I'm liking because of that ad. We want more of these ads." It's like, now you know you're advertising right.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I think the audience has changed about it also. Like now
it's more accepted because it's just the norm, I guess.
It's more accepted, and I feel like they're more on your side than they once were. In gaming, when we'd be paid to play certain games, because they just wanted that game featured on your channel. And when people found that out, all of a sudden you were like the worst sellout in the world. Now, they don't mind seeing something different, and they don't mind you getting paid. They like, I like Jay, and if a good thing happens to Jay, then I like that. And
what's funny is Patreon. You mentioned Patreon earlier. Patreon and Vessel and stuff like that. In the beginning, you would see things. What, you're such a sellout. It's a money grab. Now I get because I don't do Vessel or Patreon, but now I get comments all the time. It's like, why aren't you on Patreon? Why can't I find you on Patreon? And it's funny because they're looking on Patreon, and that's an intent to pay. Mm-hmm. So it's just really foreign.
They got extra money they want to get rid of. They thought of you, and you weren't available, and
I didn't capitalize on that.
Yeah. On PKA, so we started doing ads on this show before it became widely accepted, and one of the ways we deflected it, it's still over there. I can't even point to it very well, but it says if the money's there, we don't care. And we started saying, like, if Al Qaeda wants to advertise, there's a slot right here for you. yeah, and
that was when Lefty went, "Death to America."
yeah, and Lefty was like, "No, not Al Qaeda," and we're like, "You get an equal cut," and he's like, "Death to America."
I'm actually gonna send you a timestamp link real quick. I mean, you can watch it if you want or watch it later, but I wanted to give you an idea of the type of advertising we're doing now because. Obviously, you have to change and adapt with the times, and I think that's been the most exciting part, especially as when that becomes your way of surviving.
Woody and I were recently talking about making a commercial for sort of an energy drink thing for Gamma
we have to get back to them.
Involves like stunt driving and explosions and fireballs and voiceover and live action driving and multiple cameras and
I feel like the audience wants more and better quality content, but they also, I think, at least my audience I think I'm one of the few audiences that has that demographic where the 19 to 28 or whatever or 19 to 24 or whatever is my first demographic, and my second is the up to 35, and then third is that 13 to 18. So I feel like because I have a much older audience that they're more accepting and willing to help support without me actually coming out and doing things like crowdsourcing and stuff to try and ask for money.
My age demographics have always been this almost perfect age distribution between all like 4 or 5 of the main categories, whatever it is. So there are literally just as many children watching as there are old men. Yeah. So like it's weird the people that like I'll run into who will know who I am. Like today I went and bought some paint. The guy at the paint store was like, "I was watching those FPS Kyle videos." He was like, "I loved all that shit." And then like later on I'm at Home Depot maybe 2 weeks ago, and this old fucker was like, "You the guy with the guns, aren't you? You the man with the plan, son." Well, they gonna come for him one day, they coming. And then I had to like back because he was getting.
I'm surprised that people are like. I'm not good at recognizing. Like, I swear, if I saw, well, maybe Tom Cruise, I would, but like most people, like if I saw Linus or something, I probably wouldn't. He's Linus, right? Because he's American.
No, you call him Linus. You can call him whatever. It doesn't matter.
I think I'm good at it. I think you would. All right, here's the only. I think the only experience that you and I probably have had of doing that is like maybe at like PAX or like E3. Like seeing, other YouTubers and stuff like that. And like when I'd see like Punisher or Freddie W or we saw Notch, like I was like, you can pick them out. Like
I guess that's true.
Were you at E3 this year?
No.
Oh yeah, this was the first year I went. It's weird though because granted the channel's grown to a size now to where I'm getting noticed in places that aren't tech related, which is weird. I walk into a micro center and even the employees are like, "Yeah, it's Jay," and you walk in, it's like, "Yeah, these are my people. We're all nerds together." But it's like my wife and I go to Disneyland, and we leave. It's 1 a.m, and she's like, "I'm hungry. I want some food now." So we go through a drive-through, and I wasn't eating, obviously. But no, we go through a drive-through, and she wants like a chicken nuggets or something like that.
I'm so hungry.
Tying it back to that Tyson video earlier, right? And so
What kind of chicken nuggets?
Dick.
McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's?
No, it was a McDonald's.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Those are the worst, by the way. That's like welfare tier nuggets.
Yeah. No, it's like government cheese, right, of nuggets. So the drive-thru is taking forever, and there's like 25 cars. It's backing up onto the streets. The only thing open at this hour on Ball Road in Anaheim. And I just take to Twitter. I'm like, God damn, this McDonald's is so fucking slow. And I'm like live tweeting in the middle of the night, getting all pissed off. So the guy, you pay at one window, you go to the next window to get your food, and the guy that hands me my food, he's like, "Oh, hey, you're Jay, right? You do those computer videos on YouTube." And I'm like, "Yeah, hey, nice to meet you." And he's like, "Oh, it's so cool. Here's your food. Have a nice night." Like 60 seconds later, I get a response on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, man, sorry we were so slow. We're like understaffed, but it was nice meeting you." I'm like, fuck, the guy who just handed me my food saw me like ranting about his work on Twitter. So it's really weird because I'm still not used to meeting people in public, but it's happening a lot more often now.
I had a really similar experience once. I was at home, and it was like maybe 1 a.m, and McDonald's is the only thing open 24/7 nearby. And I tweeted, I was like, "I'm so fucking hungry, but I'm not sure which would be worse, hunger pangs or McDonald's." And finally I was like, I want McDonald's. So I drove all the way to McDonald's. I got like a quarter pounder and cheese or something like that. I get it. And the guy hands me my food, and he's like, "I guess you decided to go with that quarter pounder instead, huh?" I was like, yeah.
No, I knew something was up when all of a sudden I get, like I said, tons of packages coming in here, and the doorbell rings, and usually it's like they'll just ding dong ditch, right? And I can't just hop up and get to the door, and we have a young baby and my 6-year-old, so sometimes we'll just like leave it outside and we'll go and get it later. And the doorbell rings again, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. So the wife's like, "Hey, go get the door." So I open the door, and the UPS guy is standing there, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe it needs a signature, but that's weird because I didn't get a notification. Because I get a notification of any package that comes to this house because I'm on that system. And so he opens the door, and he goes, "Hey, man, I just wanted to tell you I really love your channel, and it's really cool to bring you the stuff that's like on your videos." And he started geeking out, and we took a picture and put it up on Twitter. But so my UPS man for about 6 months was the best delivery guy I ever had. Because if I wasn't home, he would take it to the backyard and hide it in the backyard. And he made efforts to take like really good care of the packages. But then one day, exactly, he knew it was like expensive stuff, and he didn't want the claim. And so one day he rings the doorbell, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? You want some water?" And I gave him water and stuff. He goes, "Hey, I got bad news." I'm like, "You're going to FedEx?" He's like, "No." He was moving up into the big rigs. He's like, "I'm not going to be your delivery guy anymore." And this new guy, we're back to ding dong ditching, blocking the door. I can't open it because it's a big box, and now I'm back to like the typical UPS treatment. Yeah, I miss my UPS guy. Let's put it that way.
I like getting recognized. So I get recognized, whatever. I guess like any YouTuber of somewhere my size. But when I'm with my family, it's like I really get Joe Lozon's UFC fighter, right? One thing about Joe, he always wears Joe Lozon clothes. Everything he owns says Joe Lozon on it. It's a big Lozon from like shoulder blade to shoulder blade everywhere. And he gets recognized a ton, but I feel like he's kind of helping him. Like if I'm wearing the Joe Lozon line of clothing all the time, that's a thing. I get a similar thing when I'm with my family. Like they might be like, "I think that's Woody." But if I've got Colin and Jackie and Hope with me, like they totally know that's the family. Like, it's locked in.
When I was at Blogger Fair up in Seattle this weekend, I'm sitting there and I'm watching a panel. There's like a panel going on about how to monetize your videos, and I'm thinking, am I going to learn anything from this? So I'm just kind of like moving, and I look at Twitter, and then I see somebody tweeted a picture of me from behind, and they're like, "Wow, you're really tall." And I'm looking around like,
I've had that too. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't
it's like come
that.
say hi to me. Don't just send me a picture of me and be like, hey, I'm watching you right now. Because I don't know
can top that though. As annoying as that is, and I've had that, especially at conventions. The creepiest thing. We were at dinner once, at Morton's actually. We were on like a trip to LA or somewhere, and someone sent me someone just tweeted at me like, "How's the steak?"
Oh, geez.
And I'm just like, good. They're like, is that water good? I guess we had like some sparkling water on the table. It's like, okay.
and you know what sucks about that is you look around and everyone's on their phone, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not even like you can tell, oh, who's the dick on the phone right now that's tweeting.
I'm trying to catch the guy looking at me. I'm trying to catch the guy like who's like staring me down right now because he wants to catch my reaction. Probably.
Meanwhile, you look like a maniac, forgetting that you forgot tweeting about a steak restaurant 5 hours earlier.
No, like it wasn't even like I remember this specifically. I bet Kitty remembers too. She was there. It was bizarre. That was a little creepy. He was just watching us eat. He never came forward.
Creepy.
He never was like. I was like, hey, you want to like picture or something? Nah.
In Apex, people used to come to my house a lot.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
They don't come to the new one. I think it's either the address isn't as widely known, or I think the driveway's intimidating. Like the sellers told me that. They're like, yeah, people aren't going to visit you anymore.
You got to commit.
You got to do this like these. Like,
that's how my parents' driveway always was.
There's like
You've seen my dad's place. Like
there's a brick like archway thing, right? And then it's like it's lined with trees and it's really long. And like the sellers were like, yeah, man. Sometimes UPS people they don't want to come. Like they feel like they're like they need permission to get on the compound or something. And that hasn't happened to us with UPS, but.
Yeah. That's one of the good things about having a little bit more property. They got that long driveway. I feel like the driveway here is I know it is. It's like the first time I bring people to my house, I'm like, don't worry, I'm not gonna like take you down a dirt road and murder you or anything. This is my house. Like, I promise you, like in the end, it'll all look normal. Like, but
good that you qualify it like that. Yeah.
have you ever met like an actual real hater of your channel in person?
Yeah, I think so. That I've had people be kind of like schmarmy with me, like be like, oh yeah, I do this and that. Yeah.
Well, no, this happened to me at Micro Center. So I went into Micro Center to buy some monitors because no monitor companies would send anything to me right then, and I was standing in line actually with my mom of all people because I remember now I was buying parts for my dad's build. He needed a new PC for editing. And so I was like, oh, we'll go get the parts. I'll go with you. I'll buy them. No big deal. And so I'm standing in line, and this guy, probably 2 or 3 people back, kept like looking, right? And I'm thinking, oh, I think this guy might know me. And finally, he comes up to me. He's like, hey, Jay, I love your videos, man. Can I take a picture with you? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So he hands his phone or whatever to his friend, and he takes the picture. He's like, oh, it's so cool. He looks at his friend and goes, hey, do you want to take a picture with him? And his friend goes, no, I can't stand the guy. So I was like, damn. I told him, I said, you know what, you're probably better off for hating my videos. I said, but you've still watched them, so that means something to me. And he was like, whatever. So they just walked out. But his friend was just straight up like, no, I don't like the guy.
Dude, I've got a story. There used to be this YouTuber named FistDaCuffs. I don't know if he still makes videos anymore. You know of him?
I know of him. No, I don't know him, but I know of him.
That guy hated on me constantly. And he used to always talk shit about me or something. And he tells a story repeatedly where he met me at COD XP and I was a douche to him. And I have no recollection of this whatsoever. Like, I don't think I ever met the guy. I don't know what the story is. And I was actually being really cool at COD XP. Like, I was
Turns out he ran into Bob Saget.
Hold on, let me tell the story. So here's the deal. He says he ran into me and I was a douche to him, but I was actually really cool. And I was like at COD XP, the thing I was doing, I had these VIP passes, so I didn't have to wait in line. I kept grabbing people and letting them play the game. Like, oh, this guy's with me, and I was just getting people to the front of the line who were my fans, like kind of hooking up my fans. That's what I did at COD XP. So for him to tell this story, like I was being a douche there, seemed really weird. Well, the thing is, there was another time he made this video and he kept calling me bitch tits. And at the time I weighed like 170. And I was like, yeah, he named a bunch of us like bitch tits and T-Mart had a name and Wings had a name and something like that. And I was like, who's Bitch Tits? Is that one me?
Am I bitch tits?
Yeah. And he's like, yes, you have bitch tits. And I'm like, but I really don't. And he's like, I saw you at some Machinima award show. And I was like, I wasn't there. Like, I didn't go to that Machinima award show. Like, there's no way you saw me. And he's like, I did. I totally did. You were there. But I swear I wasn't there. I never went to.
You weren't there. I was there. You weren't.
Yeah, I never went to any of those things.
Yeah,
and
I was presenter.
You were presenter. Yeah. So it's like this guy seems to routinely think that people are me who aren't flattering, and so I don't know what the story is with this, but like now I link the two together, and I'm like, this guy can't pick me out in a crowd.
That's what happened. He went to COD XP. He ran into Bob Saget. He was like, "Hey, Woody." Bob Saget was like, "Fuck off. Who are you?" And forevermore, he's branded you as an asshole.
Dude, so when I first opened my channel, there were all these comments like, he looks like this guy. One of them was Bob Saget, another one was Ray Romano, and another one was Brendan Fraser. So I went through and removed every comment that wasn't Brendan Fraser so that I could like develop a consensus.
This much of it was Brendan Fraser.
But I just went with it. I'm like, Brendan Fraser, I select him. And I removed all the others.
Fraser's forehead and up. That's
there you go.
Fraser. Yeah.
Forehead.
You have Bob Saget's whatever like orbital socket area would be, like this stuff. And I think you've got kind of Ray
Romano in the nose.
Nose and then depth of the eyes and the chin.
So what you're saying is Woody is a Picasso of celebrities.
Yeah, and not even good ones. He's
yeah, right. It's not like a little Tom Cruise, a little Brad Pitt. No. It's a little Ray Romano and a little Bob Saget.
Little Ray Romano.
Looks like you've got some Ray Liotta skin texture.
Yeah, and some Brendan Fraser, but not the body, right? All like just the weird, like the part that they forgive. That's the
Brendan
part
Fraser
you have.
from 2013, not the Mummy. Brendan Fraser. The in trouble with his alimony.
Yeah, right.
Brendan Fraser.
2015 Val Kilmer. A little of that mixed in.
It's funny. He legitimately like was holding a grudge against a phantom version of you that he'd never even met. That's great.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's true of all of your haters. Maybe there's some guy out there that looks just like you, and he just runs around like an evil monkey off Family Guy, just starting shit, just fucking your life, just like punching babies and slapping.
And he knows it too. It's just simply because you look like Woody.
Like, you're an asshole, dude. Yes, I am. You tell him Woody was here, and he like runs away.
Send a pizza to my house.
He's actually wearing a shirt that says Woody's Gamertag on the back.
I talked to FistDaCuffs once about his extreme hate. Like, he did a dual com, I think, with some other hater. It might have been El Prez, but I'm not sure. And I was like, I'm going to reach out to this guy and see what his story is. And he said that I was personally able to select who was successful and who wasn't in the gaming community. Like I was this master puppeteer making it all happen. And that he was going to continue to fuss at me until I gave him a dual com. And we worked it all out, and I was like, dude, that's not even true. He says, I only hang out with people because they're famous. And I'm like going through the track record. You know, I'm like, FPS-Russia wasn't even Russian at the time.
Wait, was he so...
T-Mart
you said he was doing all this because he wanted to dual com with you?
Yeah.
I hate you until you work with me, and then I like you.
Exactly. T-Mart had like 100 subs when I met him. Onslaught, another guy that was real successful at the time, didn't have a YouTube channel at all, right? I just liked the way that he communicated in game. And I'm like, so all this stuff isn't true. And, he kind of worked it out, and we agreed and saw common ground. And then he's like, so can I have a dual com? And I'm like, no, you can't. I feel like if I do this, then hating on me will be the natural avenue to get on my channel. So no. And that's how it worked out. But yeah, the whole thing was some elaborate plan. Like, he hated me because I didn't promote him.
Well, then can you just will me more success?
Sure.
Done.
See how
Boom! You're getting the spot that FistDaCuffs wanted so bad right now.
Can you feel it right now? It feels like
God,
liquid
fire.
Wait.
Let me check my subs. Hold on. Oh yeah, look at that. It's doubled right now.
That's Woody's Gamertag's goodwill and blessing upon you, sir.
But yeah, that was his whole deal. I wonder. I half want to like do a like a little, just I want to call everyone who's hated on me and be like, you know what? What were you thinking? Like, what did I ever do? What made that happen? To see what their rationale was.
Well, yeah, bring a camera with you and confront them. That'd be fun.
Yeah, nothing could go wrong.
They'll never see it. GoPro on my forehead. So red light blinking.
That'd be the
that's how I can cover up this spot.
There you go.
GoPro on my forehead and call it, like Jay's Truman Show.
I like it.
I'll be at events sometimes, and I'll be just trying to talk to people, and somebody will turn their GoPro on mid-conversation, and I'm just like, the fuck are you doing? Am I on record now? Like, if you were a journalist, you would have had to have asked permission first, but you just fucking hit record.
No, what you should have done, though, is the moment he hits record, the Russian accent turns on.
Sometimes I do that just to fuck with him, but I just hate being recorded in general. Like I feel like that's so obtrusive and so like you'd never do that.
Disrespectful.
Kyle's a person too, guys.
I'm a person too. Yes.
You make a shirt that says that. I'm a person too.
There's an interesting one-sided relationship, right? How like some people will think that like you're good friends with them, even though like they might know a lot about you, but you've just met them. That it's a real imbalanced thing. There is a guy who was like, "Hey Woody, I really want you to photograph certain parts of your house and send them to me." He's like, "I want to see the Game of Thrones room. I want to see like Hope's room." And it's like, do you know how fucked up that is? Like,
I want to see the bathroom.
Come on, Woody. I just want to be able to picture these places when you describe them on the show. Stop being a pussy.
I will do a house
room.
I will do a house tour at some point,
just
but
go take a picture.
YouTube's a funny thing where like you develop relationships with the people. Like I like Tom. Tom Cruise isn't a perfect example, but like if I see
there's a lot of Tom Cruise mentioning tonight,
right? I know, yeah, I'm all over him. But like Quentin Tarantino, like he's a guy. If I know he's doing a movie, it's one that I'll make an effort to see. But I don't feel like Quentin Tarantino owes me a house tour. But on YouTube, people do. People feel like they could, we're tight, so show me around. It's a different dynamic.
New topic.
Go for it.
So I watched John Oliver's Televangelist thing, and it was wonderful. He really called out all the bullshit involved with televangelism, and at the end, he literally announced that he had formed his own religion, his own church.
Our Lady of Perpetual Exemption.
Thank you. Yeah. And he asked people to send in seeds, which is what these televangelists refer to as money. Like you're planting a seed, and you'll get it back. You'll a return on your investment if you give it to God. So he told them to send their seeds and he gave a PO box. They got thousands of dollars and lots of seeds, lots of bags of seeds. He was like, someone sent this large bag of seeds, and then someone sent an actual bag of seeds, 50-pound like seed bag of seeds, and just tons of money. And he reiterated that he wanted money sent, and I'm sure there's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars that arrive by the time this thing's done.
We need to get it on this.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. I call Pope, and I wear.
No, you can't call Pope. You can't call Pope. That's the first rule of our church.
You totally know I'm Pope.
You have to vote.
Our church has multiple popes.
My YouTube life goal is to eventually have a studio like a televangelist studio. I go. Have you seen some of the
stained glass in the background?
Oh Lord, what kind of graphics card are you using?
Have you seen some of these modern ones though? Like somebody put up a picture comparing like the American Idol studio to another televangelist studio, and the televangelist studio was like way more modern, way more expensive, and bigger than
those
Hollywood
televangelists
theater.
Have tens of millions of dollars of like petty cash to play with, and it's tax free.
Yep.
And I did you see the John Oliver special we're talking about?
I saw bits of it, but I didn't see the whole thing.
Just for maybe the crowd, there was one part where he plays this excerpt of a preacher talking, and he said something. I'm just paraphrasing here. He's like, yeah, I bought a Cessna. I went out and bought that Cessna 350 jet. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And
and he's like, send me another one.
I bought one three times as expensive. Now I got two. And it was like, And like he was just like obviously like being shameless about like he's like yeah, I spend money on jets. That's a preaching machine right there. I'm flying around spreading the gospel. Yeah, like
dude,
justifying like this luxury jet.
One of the requirements for having like a church is that you need to meet on a regular basis.
Let's roll them out there. I bet we meet like.
It just so happens we do it every
Thursday.
Saturday. Well, or Thursday is the recording,
Or
Saturday's
Saturday.
the upload. Right. Like, I think that should count. They're on TV. We're on YouTube. What's the difference?
I think we should actually look into this. We need to come up with our own 10 commandments. Or actually, let's make it like 11 commandments. We're one commandment better than those other shitty religions.
What's the new commandment?
I don't know.
Everybody come
well,
up with
we-
your own
Well,
11.
I don't know that
gonna-
we like the original ones.
I like a lot
Thou
of them.
shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet. I bet you should love them. Like, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
It seems like half of them are devoted to like not liking other gods and stuff. Are we that?
Well, we're not gonna.
You can view it that way, or you could view it as not letting one thing take over your life.
Thou shalt
Amazon
have no
sells
other
Pope hats, by
Patreons
the
before
way.
me.
Thou shalt use no other Amazon affiliate code.
All right. Well, look, I legitimately we'll get Chiz on this. He'll make it happen, right? We'll let him be the deacon and the treasurer of the church. I've been calling him a dirty ethnic, but I think he's got a little Jew in him. Once I get my hands on him,
Wait, are you saying that you're wrong, or are you doubling down on the dirty
I'm
ethnic?
doubling down. I think he's not. I think he's a
Dude,
cheap,
that was the
dirty
best
ethnic.
line in the world.
Yeah.
Like he, what is it? He's got a little Spanish and a little Italian, and he's like, you mix two colors and you get a whole different color, like red and blue is purple. It turns out that Italian and Spanish is Puerto Rican. That's the greatest thing.
I'm gonna get a sample of Chiz's blood on this trip, and I'm gonna find out what kind of miscegenation is in his genome, in his character.
He does love a buck.
We should see who is the most pure. Do a blood test of all of us to see who's Pope. Who's the most pure of blood?
If I had to guess who was most pure, I would say it's me, because I feel like my blonde hair and that's all I'm really basing it on.
I
blonde
think
hair,
my
and I feel-
parents are closer to God than any of your parents. I come
I don't know
from
what that
serious
has to
pure
do with
stock.
being pure,
Nope.
though.
Nope. There's something about sins of the father, Woody, and that goes the other way too. If we're gonna
And-
start our own religion, can't take their credit and apply it to you.
No, I'm telling you, I was born to be Pope. These people see Mark of the Beast in an iWatch.
What if we started a religion and we found out Chiz was a pedophile?
I thought you. Oh God,
That'd be perfect. Like, we need a token pedophile for the religion, right? Like, he should-
Boom, now we're official.
Yeah.
The IRS hears that. When the IRS reads that we've got a sex offender within our clergy, they got to be legit. They gotta be legit.
that's
Yeah,
one
right
of the
in.
requirements.
Sign them
They
up.
couldn't get
Sign
away
'em
with
up.
this otherwise.
No tax. Yeah, that would be a great. That would be a great way.
That's like your certificate of authenticity.
Yeah, we
Yes.
increase revenues by like 30%. Just become a religion. Let's do it.
That sounds.
would
I
be great.
have heard that the IRS is like cracking down on these things because of the pressure from John Oliver.
Well, fuck you, John Oliver. That was a perfectly legitimate loophole for us to to.
We can make it work as long as we
I
have like
think
a
you
couple
crack off.
goofy rules.
I hope they do crack down on it though, because that really is disgusting to see those guys like flim flam artists, con men, really just scam artists. I use the term putting people together, but that means scamming someone or like manipulating them to get your goal done. That's what putting someone together means in my vocabulary. But like that's what they're doing to those old people in particular, and they pick up their brand of evil is their scam is most effective against those who are the weakest and need help the most, the people who are the most desperate among us, the people who really don't have that $50 to send in or that $100 to send in. They're not fooling some like corporate executive like, well, honey, let's write them another check. I don't know, let's plant that fucking seed. Am I right? Like no one's doing that. It's like some old grandma with like arthritis and her granddaughter her granddaughter needs a surgery, and
If you're sending money
to
television evangelists or podcast evangelists or whatever, you've been bamboozled.
I feel they're extremely desperate.
I wonder
Yeah,
how
that's
much my
true.
parents have sent.
We could set like a $5,000 Patreon to save people.
I wonder if that's a question, because I know your father's done fairly well for himself. So like if he's gave 10% of everything, I bet he would be like, 10% of everything I've got is nothing compared to how much I've gained because of all that I've given. I'd have a quarter of what I had now if I hadn't given that 10%. That's probably how he'd use it. But in reality, he'd have had another 10%.
He'd have 10% more.
He's not dumb.
I've been bribing my imaginary friends for years. They don't help me at all.
They don't. I remember one time I was in church and my mom gave I was young, me and my brothers, like my mom was into like the tithing thing and they'd send that little collection plate around and my dad was never really into that. Like, oh, well, of course he was the one going out and working for it. And so the little collection plate came around. My mom gave me and my brothers each $10 to put into the tray and passed it along. And I did like that old, tricky move where I acted like I laid it in and then like pocketed the 10. My other brother did the same. Youngest brother, too young to understand the schemy art we were doing, just gave $10 to those, charlatans up at the front telling us we were going to burn forever. But yeah, I probably made like 60 or 70 bucks.
You boys want to go to church? Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Let's get it going. Can we go twice?
Go to the arcade later. That's funny. I never stole God's money. I never stooped
it wasn't
that
God's.
low.
Had I let go of it and then picked it back up, that's like putting your Monopoly piece down or something.
No.
Touching
You're so wrong about this. If Woody gives Hope $10 to pay the milkman and she pockets that money, then she just robbed the milkman.
No, but then Woody would know because there was no more milk. My parents wouldn't find out because none of God's blessings didn't show up that weekend.
Well, God's not real, so he's not able to defend himself. If he were real like the milkman, then he would surely come and say, hey, your son has my $10, ma'am.
I have to bring this up. Our milkman forgot his delivery this week.
Oh,
you have a milkman.
We do. He delivers amazing milk.
Dude,
Is it Oberweis?
There's a lot of things that are really cool about Woody's life change this year and moving to his new estate over there, and everything about that comes along with that. But I think the neatest thing that would be the most difficult to recreate if you were trying to is his goddamn milkman. Glass bottles. I mean, those big ones that you could beat a hobo to death with.
Yeah.
Totally could murder a man with that bottle. Those show up full of delicious milk that I'm sure is like organic, zero bullshit milk. Like
the expiry date on it is like half of what it is on store-bought milk. Like it's they use a different pasteurization technique, don't they? They don't use the UT. There's like UTI, and then there's a different one. One of them is like ultra high temperature, but it's difficult to do, I guess. I don't know. To me, it's just like it's less fucked up milk. Like it's. Our milk is so. I want it right now. It's so amazing.
It's odd that it has that the expiration date is like that if it's less, because that's either a symptom of it being. So normally when milk is at the dairy and like modern, the kind of milk we get at the grocery store, that milk came out of the cow and was immediately refrigerated. Like as soon as it's out of the cow, now we refrigerate it, and then it's pasteurized, which is basically heating it up super hot to kill all the bacteria that would make the milk go bad. And it stays refrigerated from then until it goes into your bowl of cereal. But yours has a sooner expiration date. So that's either because it's warm during some part of the transportation, like from the cow, or like from going into the cow and then being stored warm or shipped warm, or it's not being pasteurized the same way.
It could be that I was wrong too. Like what happened was my wife forgot to order it one week, and then she bought store-bought milk. And I noticed that the stuff that was in there expired sooner. And I thought the stuff that was in there was brand new, but it could have been from before she bought it.
Check it next time. I'm interested now. Milk talk.
Milk talk. No. Yeah. Yeah, but
we about milk recently.
We get a lot of our food just gets delivered. It's like from local farms and stuff. And and we get like weird like you go to the supermarket and all the like peaches and tomatoes and stuff are like uniform and they're all the same size. We get tomatoes that roll in that are giant. They're like, I was gonna say they're like pumpkins, but that's an exaggeration. They're like a gourd in size. Like they're big tomatoes. Like, and we had a peach too. A peach that was bigger than a softball. And just like giant fruit rolls in and stuff like that. And we're like, oh, look at that shit. I didn't know it did that.
I'm gonna have to look at. I'm gonna see if there's some fancy milk that I can get into. I don't like this. I don't like you and your fancy milk.
We don't even have these milk delivery men you're talking about.
Maybe you do, and we just don't know. Maybe we all have access. We've just never looked into it. How did you get hooked up with your milk guy?
Jackie started buying from a local. Like she bought food from a local co-op, and then like there's more than one co-op that delivers to us now. She just like started like. Like, oh, this is the place that has the basil, and this is the place that has this, and she likes cooking.
Holy shit, we do.
Yeah, she likes cooking, so she gets these like fresh ingredients and stuff.
And this is straight from the dairy, like the Altadena dairy. I guess that's like a big one or something. We can get it straight to our house. That's crazy.
It's amazing. Yeah, they come in these styrofoam things, and then they have like old water bottles and stuff filled with ice to keep it all cool.
No, I see. These people have raw milk. I don't want that.
Yeah, I see that.
No, that's what like really crazy people drink, and it can kill you.
Yeah.
This is what we got when we were little. This Oberweis milk, and I think Woody's right because it would expire sooner than other things. Came in the glass bottle, made you feel like you were going back in time.
I don't want to have to chew my milk. That's gross.
Yeah, our I mean, this isn't exactly the same. Our containers are not hard like that. They're styrofoam. The milk bottle seems the same, but it's not printed on the side. It's just generic.
That's cool. I really like milk too.
Chocolate milk is great.
They'll deliver chocolate milk?
Oh yeah, this place I just linked to. They'll deliver chocolate milk.
Oh, that's the best.
We haven't. Yeah, Colin used to only drink chocolate milk, and that's what we would get. But I don't think she still orders it anymore.
Huh. Well, that's really cool. I like milk. I eat a lot of cereal. And and I don't know, lots of the things, like I won't eat any like cake or cookie or pie or any dessert without milk. So I drink a lot of milk because I eat a lot of cake, cookies, and pies.
That was one of the things I really had to give up though was milk. I could go through a gallon of milk in a day if I wanted, but
yeah, totally.
Now it makes me feel sick though because I'm actually lactose intolerant. But it's one of those things where I just was like, I don't care. I'm having my cereal and I'm having my glass of milk with my cereal and just became tolerant to it. But now if I try and have regular milk, or even like non-fat or 1% or whatever, it just makes me feel really sick.
You know what you should try is the quinoa milk.
Oh, quinoa, yes.
Almond milk.
Fresh squeezed quinoa?
I haven't had almond milk.
It's okay.
It's sad. No, it's not okay. Don't give it too much credit.
It's a little bit thinner, and it's like the kind that we get is vanilla, so it's kind of sweet.
See, I hate that one. I hate that one so much.
Really?
I like it.
I think
good.
Maybe I'm just too used to the original.
It's better than milk. It's sweet tasting. Like it's not.
I bought the vanilla one day, the vanilla unsweetened one day, and I didn't realize it. And
don't do that
because I do almond milk, regular almond milk, and I put it in my cereal, and I took a bite, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, I've had that too.
It's so bad. But maybe because I wasn't
thinking
expecting
of soy
it.
milk. Yeah, soy milk is shit. Almond milk is not nearly as good as regular milk still.
I saw a tweet from Black people Twitter, and it was like, almond milk? Almonds ain't got no titties.
Oh man! But I put almond milk in my coffee though. It's good. Good alternative.
That sounds pretty good. I could do that.
Yeah. Almond milk, espresso, and just a little bit of honey. Mix that up. It tastes really good. I know, right? All this skinny, like healthy shit now. Jay's boring.
It's all right.
Yeah, I like to put a tablespoon of butter in my coffee.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it goes down smooth.
Is that a thing? I've never even heard of that.
Oh god, I have a story off Reddit. I found it. It's 5 months old. It got linked
Butter
recently.
coffee. You've said so many ridiculous things that you've eaten that I didn't even think you were joking. I pictured you every morning waking up, having your black coffee, taking a slab of butter out of the tray, scooping
and it's
it
like
in there.
floating on top as I sip it down like a marshmallow.
I'm just having my butter coffee before I make my homemade breakfast fries.
Are you guys ready for this ridiculous story for me to read?
I'm getting with you. Wait, is there a link?
No, I was going to read it to you.
Oh, yes, please go ahead.
All right. So this came from Ask Reddit from 5 months ago. And it said, what's the weirdest encounter you've had that led to sex? So this guy tells a story. Bear with me. It's long, but I think it's worth it. So I've been single for a few months, and I was in dire need of a slump buster. There was a dive bar near me, which had a target-rich environment for chicks that you wouldn't tell anyone you hooked up with. Being in need, I set the bar pretty low and had a decent expectation of leaving my abode that I would be able to come across a lady that would either weigh in at cruiser/heavyweight or be as ugly as Rosie O'Donnell but without the open scabs. So I got to the bar, and apparently everyone else had the same idea. There was more sausage than a YMCA concert, and every fat chick had 2 to 3 dudes hitting on her. It was like all these chicks woke up as 2s, and they were 7 or 8s when they hit the bar. So I'm trying to decide if I should just leave and go home and fap to the new Sears catalog or saddle up to the bar and order a beer. Shortly after the urine that they call beer arrives, this female octogenarian sits next to me and asks why I look so pissed off. Now, for those of you that don't know what an octogenarian is, that's someone who's 80 years old. I tell her how there was a lot of hog in the bar, and I was grabbing a drink before I went home. So we chat for a bit, and she's buying me a beer. So I say, fuck it. At least I'm getting the drink for free. And I listen to her yap on, as women are wont to do, for an hour or two, and keep checking out the lady population. The parking lot is emptying, and the ladies are starting to disappear as guys stuffed oversized women into their cars and ride back to their places as the car tilted at 45-degree angles, smelling of Cheerios and broken dreams. Meanwhile, I'm talking to a lady who likely voted for FDR. I finally decide, after about 6 free beers and a shot, that I'm headed home and to get the Vaseline and rubber spatula and rub one out for a night of solo action. Rubber spatula?
What?
Grandma tells me that she lives close by, and it would be nice if I walked her to her door. Being the gentleman I am, I said, fuck that shit, it's cold outside. So she said she would just follow me for as long as we were going in the same direction. Fine, whatever. So once again, I have to listen to her drone on about the price of insure or some shit until I reach my apartment complex. I mumble like good night or rest in peace and head up to my place. I get to my door and put the keys in, and this bitch had followed me the whole way there. I turn to her and I'm like, listen, I just want to have a good fap and go to bed. Apparently, that romantic statement was what she was looking for, because she grabbed my junk like a death row inmate getting their last supper and said, why? I don't do it for you? So like all men, I made a bad decision, and 1,000 things go through my mind at once, and I said, well, at least you're not doing it to yourself. So we head into my place, and I sit on the nasty couch and yank out the purple-headed warrior, which is 100% limp at this point. Grandma goes after it like a hungry dog on a meaty bone and is giving me some serious grade A head. I start thinking that I made the right choice here and begin thinking of ways I'm going to tell her to get out after I get her FDA-approved dosage of DNA pudding. While this is running through my mind, apparently Grandma was doing some ninja shit, and before I know it, she has her pants off and starting to remove her shirt. Okay, forget what I said. This is a bad idea, and the look of her half-naked body is making me go limp. Granny tells me that she's going to need some attention, and that if I liked what I got earlier, I would love what her kitten had for me. So I'm half limp, and functioning part of my brain is like, okay, she did give good head. Fuck it, let's see what this is all about. So she sits down on the couch and saddles her hips up to the edge as I try to furiously stuff my mostly limp self into a condom. I manage to make things work and slowly slide.
What's the point?
Well, yeah, don't want to get her pregnant.
You think Granny's got the clap? Come on.
So I managed to make things work. It's like sliding your dick into a glass of warm pudding. I slowly go about my business and start questioning my life choices that brought me to this point. I'm getting lost in my thoughts when Eleanor Roosevelt whispers something to my ear that will haunt my very dreams. If I wanted to be fucked like an old lady, I would have fucked an old man. Now, that should have been the straw that broke the camel's back, and I should have just sucked up the ego hit and kicked her ass out. Instead, I felt the need to defend my manly honor and started pile-driving Granny's roast beef box like the Undertaker at WrestleMania. At this point, I'm trying to find my focus so I can get my mind and over with it, but my ability to orgasm is hindered by the fact that A, I might have broken her hips, and B, she's hooting and hollering like she just won the Showcase Showdown. As a testament to my depravity, I did manage to fire one off, grabbing her breasts that probably suckled kids from the Great Depression. After that, it was just a haze of getting dressed and me thinking as I passed out that I hope I didn't remember what I had done. Sadly, that is not the case. So there it is. Somehow I thought that story would be good for PKA.
Good for him. Well, no.
Like, I feel like that snake woman I fucked that time was a good story, but that really takes the cake. You fucked that 80-year-old woman, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that probably won that comment thread.
I think it did. Yeah, it was linked to recently.
That's so gross. Wouldn't you just feel guilty?
No, I'd do that. I think I would do that just to do it. Yeah, I'd fucking.
No,
I don't know
when
who the
you
victim
get in
was.
the moment, you wouldn't want to.
Nah, I just, you know, if it looked too rough, I just kind of close my eyes and think of something
I
more
guess if
fun,
you're
but-
7 drinks in, you pretty loose
Nah,
to the suggestion.
Stone sober. Let's just make it happen. Let's try some new stuff here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Open your mind, Taylor.
We could talk about history while we did it. Like, I'd love to know what the Great Depression was like.
Yeah. What were the 60s like?
Tell me about Eisenhower. Yeah. What was Castro like in the old days? Like
How long did people really hate Germans after the war?
I want to know this stuff. Yeah, I'd have no problem with that.
All right.
What's the oldest lady that you would have sex with, Taylor?
Give it some thought.
That's so loaded. Let me think.
Like no
There's-
celebrity dream like magic scenarios, just your average
No.
lady, you know, a
Let's
good
assume
looking.
she's not heavy though, or something, right? Just
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
Yes, well, that's assumed.
She took pretty good care of herself, but you know,
Mhm.
she's not running marathons anymore. She's spry, but she's 80.
Probably at this point in my life, I'm thinking 50s. 50s or maybe 60. But once
Woody,
you get
don't
to
miss
60,
your shot.
it just seems so old.
Don't waste these next few years, Woody. Time is precious now. You need to make your moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'd want to have sex with one of those ladies who's so old that like their skin looks like paper and it's like translucent and it looks like you could like scratch their. It looks like you could like tear their face off. You know what I mean? Like if you really wanted to, you could just like like take their face. Like
Or you could like make origami out of their neck skin.
I think I think that happens in their 90s and especially in the upper 90s, like when they get like real decrepit looking, like basically like they're dead almost already. Like if I'm being honest, but like, I definitely go into the 60s. I think, if she was attractive in some way at all, I really don't think I'd care about the number, and I probably would fuck an 80-year-old, you know, just to say I had. That'd be cool.
There's a gap there, though. Like,
That escalated quickly.
if like 85 was like your limit, Kyle, but if like 118-year-old lady who was like one of the oldest in the world wanted to, I think anyone would do that just for the story to be able, and then mainly for the conversation afterward, to be able to ask about like what the world 1904 World's Fair was like.
I think I'd tell everybody I fucked her, but really I just like jerk off on her or something, and just do that. I think that's what I'd do. She wouldn't remember it anyway.
I think there becomes
she's dead.
I think there's a final a line there where the story just is no longer worth it.
Oh, it's worth it.
You know,
And they probably would literally die. Like if you serve someone that old their coffee a little too hot, the shock would just kill them.
very soon there'll be no one alive from the 1800s.
Oh
I saw
yeah, there's
that.
only
It's
like
two
2
more.
people or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's they'd be 115 at least now, and I want to say
Oh,
the
geez,
oldest tend to be like 118, 115.
I don't think there are any. Nah, I don't think there are any people left from the 1800s. Then
No, there are. The last of the 90s kids.
Oh, we have to turn our cameras back on.
The gay 90s.
The last of the 90s kids. I didn't think of it that way.
Damn.
Oldest person. Oh, look at
That's
this.
like what their meme would be. It'd be like only 90s kids remember this, and it's a horse and carriage. Or
So there's currently there's at least 10 people. The top 10 oldest people are all from the 1800s, and they're all women.
Did you guys lose the camera video? Your camera feed?
Yeah,
I lost
I'm waiting
everybody's
for it
video.
to come back.
I can see Taylor. It
I can
just
see
takes
Taylor,
it a
too.
while.
Yeah,
It just takes it a while.
Exactly. It'll be here soon, and then they'll get brighter, and everything will be cool.
I was like, I didn't turn my lights down.
Well, there's a 122-year-old
Shit.
French lady.
what the
Shit.
Come on. No, she's dead. She's dead.
She just died.
She died in the
And
middle of that
she's dead.
sentence during the comment.
Oh no, he's right. She is dead. She died in 1997. I'm looking at the
I
oldest
told you.
people ever. I want the oldest people living. And here we are. There are only 2. One of them is American, actually. The oldest one.
One is Chinese, right? If not,
no.
I'd be surprised.
So the
Because
current
it seemed like some of those Asian countries held like the longest living records for a long
the
time.
Japanese
we
people
do.
always-
So of the oldest people ever, we have 5 of the top 10, and Japan has 2, and no one else has more than 1.
But those 2 in Japan lived as long as those other 5. I swear.
The 5th place is the top Japanese person. America owns 2, 3,
I feel like they
7, 9, 10. But what was I gonna say? Oh, the oldest people now, Japan is killing it. Japan has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 10. America has 2. Although we do have the oldest person right now.
Imagine if you were like 114 years old and you just found out about like Game of Thrones. Even if you started binge watching it, there's like a real possibility you couldn't get
Not
through.
gonna make it.
Yeah, you're like,
Precious little time.
Well,
I'm
some
not
of the
going to make it to the Red Wedding.
some of the anxiety that show gives might be enough to knock one of them off.
Yeah.
Jay,
Oh,
can you turn
geez.
your camera on and off, or like, is it off?
Let me check.
I'm just getting your avatar. There
There we
we go. It'll come soon. Perfect. Oh,
I don't have your
except
camera.
people shifted.
Yeah, and your avatar is showing.
Oh, is
Yeah, I
it?
can see it.
Oh, that's what it is, probably. Now it's better.
Now
All
we're
right.
back to normal. All right.
There we are. Now we're good. Skype is constantly shifting on me. There are so many people who are like, all you need are like 5 layouts, and that'll handle all the situations. It won't. It won't handle all the situations. You know, people pop up in different places. We have different amounts of people. People randomly shrink to avatars in all the different spots. They must take 50 layouts to do all the choices. It's not as easy as you think.
Indeed.
That whole thing.
Indeed.
Shall we call it a show?
I think so. I got to get up in like
Yeah.
7 hours.
There you go. All right.
All right.
I enjoyed
So,
the show.
Check
Anything-
out our sponsor, Next Issue, link in the description and on the side. Check out Jay's channel, link in the description. And if you liked him here, you'll love him on his own role. Or his own channel. I don't know, I said role. And
Whatever it is.
Yeah, so check all that
It's
stuff
it's
out.
all just a fake persona. Whatever.
Yeah.
My reoccurring role on YouTube.
There it is. All right, so that was Painkiller Ready, episode 245. I hope you liked it. And I hope there is a 246 that we filmed in the woods and we're still alive and well.
Fuck
If
yeah.
not, we'll be back 2 weeks from now with the Mercadurka show.
All right, goodbye.